Mic check 1 2, mic check 1 2, mic check 1 2, mic check 1 2, mic check 1 2. Can you hear me? Mic check 1 2. Can you hear me? Mic check. Mic check 1 2 1 2 1 2. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hope you are good, hope you are well, hope you can hear me, hope you are good, hope you are well, hope you can hear me, hope you are good, hope you are well, you can hear me, hope you are good, hope you are well, you can hear me, hope you can hear me loud and clear. Thank you for joining me once again. Random show, we are back once again, For those of you that need a reminder, because I think I may not have been clear, but going forward, my aim to what I want to do is I want to try and stream as much as I can during the week. So my goal is to do 7 days a week, right? And to do the Monday to Friday streams be members only, obviously after the stream finishes. But then the Saturday, Sunday ones to be available for everyone to watch for free, no membership needed. That's what I'm going to do going forward. That's the plan. Weekend streams will be Saturday, Sunday. They'll be available for everyone to watch. Monday, Friday will be members only. Just to be clear, because I'm not sure I made that actually clear. So in case you guys are worried, thinking, oh, why is everything behind the paywall? Everything is private. The Saturday, Sunday ones will always be available for everybody. Obviously, Monday to Friday, if you're here and I'm streaming, you can watch the whole thing anyway. It's not members only chat. You can still take part, so you can still enjoy it if you happen to catch me live during the week. But Monday to Friday will be members only. Saturday, Sunday will be available for everybody else. I think that's kind of fair. I just want to make it valuable for the members. That's kind of what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make it more incentive for people to get memberships by making sure I do more streams during the week for members that they can rewatch. You get me? But of course, if you don't want to do that, you want to just watch the free ones on Saturday, Sunday, you're more than welcome to. I'm going to be start doing the clips as much as I can do within the 24-hour window. I did put out a bunch. That's the reason why I'm kind of a bit late now. I did put out a bunch of clips on the channel, so please check those out if you haven't already. Check those clips out, like them, comment them, all that good stuff. I do really appreciate that. I'm going to try and get those out within the 24 hours window, so that the ones that don't have memberships can at least check and see what we were talking about on the previous stream. You get what I mean? So yeah, make sure you check that out if you can. Yeah, make sure you check that out if you can. Make sure you check that out if you can. But yeah, thank you for joining me once again. We got some stuff to get through. We have some stuff to get through. So welcome back once again to the premier #1 cultural commentary show in the world. I'm so glad to have you here with me. I'm so glad to have y'all here with me. Big up the stream chat. Who have I got here? I've got Apex Putter. I've got MK. Wagwan MK. Josie, what's good, darling? Don Dot, I see you. Bottom, the Boba Fett, I see you. Daz McGee, I see you. Yeah, I saw the Mexico shit. I was looking fucking. I can't believe they got El Mencho, man. I really can't believe they got him. I really cannot believe they got him. Big up Apex Prada, MK. Big up Luke Gollop. I see you there. Big up Luke Gollop. I see you. Big up Stephen Castaneda. I see you. Big up the One and Under. Casuals in here. Big up Anth. I see you as well. Big up everybody tuning in. Big up everybody tuning in. Big up everybody tuning in. Cool. Let's get into it. First thing to get into, the Sidemen Inside trailer just dropped. Don't get me wrong, I'm not too familiar with Sidemen. I'm not too familiar with what Inside is. I'm assuming it's kind of like their Big Brother show. I know what Sidemen's a group of guys from the UK that do content or stuff. I don't really watch them, but they're kind of like KSI's kind of group of guys. They do a show called Inside, which I think is some sort of like Big Brother competition thing with like other streamers and celebrities and shit. And in this particular episode, this particular season, this is the season where allegedly fucking Marlon, the streamer, and India, this girl that used to be on Love Island, ended up hooking up. And the problem with it was that India at the time was in a relationship with this other guy called Dami. There's like a big controversy a few months ago. It was spread all over the internet. But it happened while they were filming the show, and now the show is going to finally come out. So I'm going to watch this trailer with you and kind of react to it. But my heart goes out to Dami. I know a lot of people that have sympathy for men when they get cheated on. I think in general, on social media, I feel like there's not a lot of sympathy or empathy put forward to men when they get cheated on or they get their heart broken. But I feel so bad for Dami, because imagine you're him, right? Imagine you're somewhat of a celebrity and your girlfriend cheated on you on a fucking TV show, let's say, right? You already suffered and you already went through the heartbreak of dealing with it in the moment, right? it was big news on social media because remember this clip that went viral. Remember this clip that went viral, right? So this girl in the picture, although this girl in the picture doesn't look like she's got a boyfriend, she has, at that time she had a boyfriend, right? At this particular time, this girl had a boyfriend, but you know, she was out here in the restaurant in London, swapping saliva with Marlon, right? The streamer. So you can see that video, right? You can see what they're doing there. There's no sound, but they're, you know, they're having a good time swapping spit in the restaurant. Now that happened a few months ago. It went viral over UK Twitter. I think most Twitter, it went viral. Everyone was talking about it for a bit, and it kind of died down. The story kind of died down because, you know, we got news cycles. It must be so horrible for Dammy now because he's gonna have to relive this horror because this show's gonna drop in March, right? This Inside Sidemen show. So we're gonna see what led to this. As viewers, we're going to see what led to them, you know, being strangers in the beginning and then kind of having feelings for each other throughout the show, leading to this kiss. So he's going to have to replay getting his heart broken. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just feel so bad for the guy. I feel so fucking bad for the guy. So let's watch the trailer anyway, and then I can continue on. But my heart goes out to Dammy, and my heart goes out to Dammy. This is not fair. This is not fucking fair.
Welcome to Inside. We've taken 12 of the biggest names on the internet and put them all under one roof. For 7 days, they'll be put to the ultimate test, battling it out for £1 million.
Are we comfortable?
Shut up.
No luxuries.
Can we get pink?
I ain't even got a criminal record. Like, what am I doing here?
No comfort.
That's Simon. That's
No clout to hide behind.
How am I going to survive?
Your follow account means nothing here.
If I were any of you three, probably start trying to make some friends.
And the spend comes straight from the prize pot.
I'd like to confirm 15 Prosecco's.
Every alliance.
This is a big three right here.
I don't trust the boys.
Every conflict.
Expression, that's you, mother.
I didn't do it.
I hate them. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them.
Every dodgy decision.
Babe, don't scream. Oh no, I'm terrified.
I don't know, man. I'm just sat here thinking to myself, like, imagine, I don't know, man. Imagine having a girlfriend and seeing her on TV doing this. I'm not somebody that cares so much about stuff, right? But imagine me having a girlfriend and seeing her do this on TV. Seeing her do this, do these heart signs with some random dude on TV. Ay, 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 ay. Could you imagine that being your wife and she's just doing this shit on TV with that random people? God damn.
Don't scream. Oh no, I'm terrified.
Who will survive the week and take it all?
Covered in slime everywhere.
This is Inside.
Meal upgrade.
Meal upgrade.
Meal upgrade.
And we spent 250 bags.
Nah, they are close.
Not gonna lie, the show looks a bit shit. You know, I'm probably gonna watch it for the drama only. It's not my type of entertainment. I'm not gonna lie. It's definitely not my type of entertainment whatsoever. But I'm gonna obviously watch it for the drama and see what I'll go on, how it kind of played out. But I don't know. My heart goes out to Dammy, man. My literal heart goes out to Dammy because I know no one. Because I know if the shoe was on the other foot, if the roles were reversed, right, and Dammy was on this show hooking up with some other girl, there'll be so much sympathy and empathy being placed towards India. Everyone will be going, you know what I mean? It'll be a different story. But I think because it happened to a dude, no one seems to really give a shit about how he feels and how he's dealing with everything. Because this is a massive violation. It was already a massive violation, this fucking kiss in the middle of a restaurant, right? Like, you know, if you're gonna cheat on somebody, at least go to a hotel. You know what I mean? At least do it behind the fucking door. Don't go and fucking cheat on me in public like this in a fucking brightly lit restaurant. Do you know what I mean? In the middle of central London. Like, allow it. You know what I mean? Guys, you're holding man's face and shit in a brightly lit restaurant. Like, it's too much. You know what I mean? Too fucking much already. Like, cheating happens, isn't it? Cheating happens. People break each other's hearts, but doing this in this level of publicity is fucking crazy. Part of me, right? Part of me thinks this probably will hurt more if you're Dammy, because I get the feeling, again, I don't know much about these people. I'm just looking from the outside in, you know, reading between the lines as much as I can. It doesn't seem to me that they had any issues though, you know? Like, they kind of seemed quite, you know, chill, I guess. Presenters of social media, they celebrate birthdays together, engage, you know, anniversaries and shit. Not engagement, anniversaries and shit. So I wonder if it hurts when you get cheated on as a guy. People in the stream chat, let me know. I don't know if this is true, but if you get cheated on as a guy, does it make you feel better if you got cheated on because you probably wasn't paying your person attention, or does it feel better, or does it feel worse when you were paying them attention but they just got distracted by somebody else because that person looks better than you or something, or they're more attracted to them. Does that make sense? Or does it not matter? Does it not? I don't think it actually matters. Actually, I think I answered my question. It wouldn't really matter what the circumstances are around it, would it? Finding out your fucking girl got her back blown out by somebody else is gonna hurt you regardless. It doesn't matter if like somebody fell on top of her and it happened, or it was like, you know, the consequence of like a 6-month affair. You're still gonna be crushed, isn't it? You're still gonna be fucking crushed. But yeah, okay. People say, okay, it hurts both ways. Okay, cool. I'm glad I'm not the only one that thought that. I did assume it hurts both ways, but I wasn't too sure. I wasn't fucking too sure. Cool. So that happened, and then we got a quick little update video here of Marlon reacting to the video himself when he's watching it live, doing a reaction to it. Marlon celebrates officially being in the Sidemen in a new Sidemen inside. Let's see what he has to say about it.
Your boy is on fucking Netflix. Let's fucking go. Fire, very fire, bro. Very fire. So I'm super excited. I cannot wait for y'all to watch it. It's gonna be a lot of stuff happening around it, of course. And obviously, as everybody know, from that incident and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying, we all know it's just gonna be even more pressure, which is fine. Do you know how many times people leak that shit? The biggest one, the biggest one was Jason. We was literally on live, and he fully just said it. Fully said I was on his side. I was like, brother, like, what are you doing?
I don't know, man. I know he's excited about being on the show himself, but if I was Damien, I'd be so pissed. You know what I mean? I know he's more excited about the show, but he does seem too excited in general. You know, another bit of virality, another bit of attention, more subs, more views. He's absolutely loving it. He's absolutely loving it, and he completely destroyed that man's relationship. You know what I mean? He destroyed it, got what he needed to get out of it, and kept it moving. You know, got what he needed to get out of it and kept it fucking moving. Brutal, absolutely fucking brutal. But I guess that's what happens, isn't it? Another clip here says someone called Lydia Violet says that Sidemen Inside leak happened during the Marlon in India situation. Let's hear about this. I don't know who Lydia Violet is, but let's see what she has to say.
So 99% of people already knew that I was on Sidemen because it got leaked, because we had to go back. So it wasn't just you went into the warehouse and then...
Why is it... I've noticed, right? I'm going to play a clip of this other girl called Joanna. Maybe I'll find it in a bit. Why is it a lot of these like younger girl, like, I don't know if it's a thing, why a lot of these like younger girl live streamers have this weird voice thing that they do? Is that how they actually speak, or is that just a way that they kind of like infantilize themselves, or like give themselves a little bit of an extra kook to make themselves sound I don't know, I don't get it. They all have this little weird voice inflection. I've noticed it. A lot of these girl live streamers, they have a very strange way that they speak. It's almost like for lack of a better word, it's almost like kawaii-ish. It's like, I don't know, it's almost like anime-ish. Like there's something about it. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I feel like a lot of girl live streamers have this like weird voice that they put on whenever they're on camera. Very, very strange.
I did it, and then you went home. Okay, you have to come back for the reunion. So we did the reunion, happy times. And then afterwards, you know, everyone went afterwards and you know, had a little reunion. And they said, do not go to a public space. I wasn't the alpha wolf leader of the pack here, so I wasn't the one to, you know, make the decision on where we went. So we did go to a public space. I went home kind of as soon as we got there. So I wasn't there, but after I left, some things happened with some people, which went kind of viral because everyone went to a public space and then thought that they weren't gonna get filmed. Which is kind of strange, actually, considering that they got recognized and then still decided to do the thing that they did. Kind of could have seen that coming. Yeah.
That makes the story even worse then. That context you added makes the story even worse. That makes this fucking affair even worse. So they were told after they finished filming, if you want to celebrate, don't go to a bait place, don't go to a public space. They still went to I forgot what restaurant it was. It was a very popular restaurant here in London. It's somewhere on a skyscraper. I forgot where it was. It was Duck and Waffle? Yeah, I think there might be Duck and Waffle. I think that this was the Duck and Waffle somewhere in central London, so it's a fairly popular one. It's in a massive skyscraper somewhere with great views overlooking London, but essentially it's a tourist trap. Everyone kind of goes there, and you would assume, you know, people that go there would probably know who fucking Marlon and India were, so they got recognized while they were there. Probably took a couple of pictures, maybe signed some things, and they still engaged in this, you know. Cool, man. Cool. Next clip here. This is an older clip. It shows Dammy, the guy that got cheated on, by the way, on the right there. You can kind of see he's still got that look of like, I thought all men have that look in it on their face. He's got that look of bewilderment. I think Michael B. Jordan had that look on his face too when he went to that basketball game the day after, or the couple of days after he ended, or you know, he split up with what's her name? I forgot her name, but yeah, he's got that look of bewilderment. He's got that kind of shock face on it, you know. It's almost like a shock face, like kind of like, yeah, it's kind of shocking. It's a bit of a shock face, so he's still kind of fresh. Dammy tells Tyreek that he'd fight Marlon over India Kiss if he got paid, and adds that Marlon is too young to fight. Okay, let's press play.
In terms of PK, obviously PK said that he'll punch up Marlon.
Well, sit down.
He said misfits.
He said misfits. I'm here to ask you.
What?
Do you think you'll punch up Marlon?
I mean, if I was getting paid to do it.
So
if I was getting paid to do it, yeah, I would smash him up. But I don't fight youngers. I don't fight youngers.
Okay, so if misfits come calling and they say Dammy Hope versus Marlon, we say you're straight in the ring.
But see, the thing is, I'm not really trying to fight for anyone. I'm not trying to. It's like you gotta put money in front of me for me to do it. You know what I mean?
Wait, I'm gonna give you the truth as my boy. I'm gonna give you the real. I don't agree with what PK was saying.
Okay.
I don't think Marlon owes you anything. I don't think you're not his brethren. Have you even met?
No.
Never met. Not his brethren.
I didn't know that guy existed until you.
I don't think he. Obviously, he done something wrong because he should have taken a woman. But I don't think he is in the wrong. That's my opinion, though. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't agree with PK, and I don't agree. What do you feel about that?
I just think fair. That's cool. Your opinion, isn't it?
Fair enough.
Nah, I think he's in the wrong, man. I think he's in the wrong, and this is coming from a guy that's done my fair share of dirt over the years. I think if someone like that has got a private relationship, you don't do that, man. You don't do that. I think it's just bad karma for yourself. You know what I mean? That I wouldn't want that to happen to me. Do you know what I mean? I think, you know, it's one thing. I don't know if this makes any sense, but it's one thing doing this to some like random, you know. But when there's somebody else in your field, you know, if it's like some regular dude, and you end up hooking up with this girl and you don't even know who the guy is, and he's some guy that just DMs you a massive wall of text about hey, he's gonna fuck you up. Okay, cool, just ignore it and keep it moving. But you know that girl's in a private relationship. You know, most likely if you're aware of India, you've probably seen Dammy. You know what I mean? It's unlikely you not know who he is. So to engage in that is a bit mad. I think it's a bit mad. But then again, I think the vim and the anger should always be directed to the person that's in a relationship that ended up stepping out. I mean, it shouldn't be directed at the person that broke it. I think that's always a bit weird. It's like women do that a lot as well, innit? Women will, instead of going after the dude, will start attacking the other woman. I don't really understand that. I get the ego and the pride gets involved in it, but really and truly, you should be looking at your person for letting you down, less so the person on the outside, you know? But maybe it's easier said than done. Here's another clip. What it says? He says Dammy says he'd fight to go on a date with Joanna after Marlon breakup as revenge for India. Really? Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work.
You might as well send this T-shirt to Yona, bro.
What?
I heard Yona skipping Valentine's this year too.
If anyone in chat has her address, bro, we can do it.
Hey, you heard that? Hey, say it again.
Our management, and anyone has a management.
Who got a PO box?
PO box, bro. Send it one right now.
I'll
get my team on it right now.
Who got?
Just send it, bro. I get my team on it right now.
Who got Yona's address? Cause they ain't together no more either.
Bro, skip Valentine's together.
Skip Valentine's this year. Shit. Hey, you might as well date Yona, bro.
Hey. So what you say? Should we skip Valentine's together then? I'm just
this is the Dammy dialect. You know what?
Like, he's hurting, man. That's that smile with pain. He's smiling through the pain. That guy's hurting. He's trying to keep a good face on it because his boys are around him hyping him up, but that guy's in pain. That guy's in a lot of pain. You can tell. I don't know. I just feel so bad for the guy. They're gonna replay this whole love affair again on TV. It's just like on Netflix, you know. Fucking hell, man. Fucking hell, I don't know what. Honestly, I think I'd off myself. On God, I think I'd fucking off myself. Anyway, let's continue. Article about Joe Rogan. There's an article in the New Yorker about Rogan. It's a bit of a long one, but it might be interesting. All right, so let's check it out. I'm gonna break up a bit. I won't read the whole thing in full. We'll break up a bit and do some other things. All right, courtesy of the New Yorker. Listening to Joe Rogan, how a gift for shooting the shit turned into an online empire and a political force. Courtesy of the New Yorker, written by a guy called David Remnick. Big up David Remnick. Let's fucking, actually, the cover art for it is really cool as well. I quite like the cover art. I quite like the fucking cover art. Let's check it out. Who did the cover art? It doesn't say. Cool. For a long time, I stayed up through the night listening to all the tall tale tellers, UFO spotters, moon landing deniers, and holier rollers and village explainers, the whole barbaric yawp of the American talk. I could not get enough of it. I was a fairly ordinary kid, Jersey born, but the house I lived in was overshadowed by illness. My mother had been diagnosed with a debilitating neurological disease when she was in her early 30s. Every year she got worse. During that day, I wanted nothing more than to please my mother, to do well in school, lighten her load. At night, I wanted only to climb into the shelter of my bed and turn on the radio. I was hungry for elsewhere, for other lives, for what was being said down the street, over the bridge, beyond the horizon. That's actually a good way to describe radio. That's actually a good way to describe radio. That's actually why when I was growing up too, I used to fucking love radio. I used to listen to pirate radio stations all the time. I'd be listening to talk radio things in the background. I was always in and I think that's part of it. It was the transportation. It was the kind of taking you out from where you are, making your mind wander, making your mind, basically separating you from your fucking locale. Because radio, especially at this peak, had a really great way of kind of, especially the ones, I forgot what stations, but those stations that would they have these stories that they tell, super descriptive, and you can literally feel like you were actually there, present. So really fucking good. And then obviously the beginning stages of podcasting, if you remember, the beginning stages of podcasting were really about sharing adventures, tall tales, insights, stories, just in general. It was fucking great. Now all of a sudden, every podcast has turned into a fucking advert, right? But back in the day, it was fucking fun. On clear nights, the signal was strong. You could hear the country expressing itself incessantly. Everyone was phoning in, suggesting freeway trays, bitching about the mayor, speaking in tongues, raging, joking, climbing out the ledge, and threatening to jump. When I wanted a few hours of sleep before school, I tuned into the ball game on the west coast. The stacky murmur of the crowd at Anaheim, or the Chavez Ravine as a sure slide to oblivion. Mostly though, I wanted nothing to do with sleep. Mostly I was tuned in midnight to 5:30 to Long John Nebel Show. In the so-called golden age of radio, Americans gathered around hulks of mahogany in the backlight knobs and the vacuum tubes and listened to dramas and comedies. Tens of millions of people heard FDR's fireside chats. 75 million listened to Joe Louis clash with Max Schmeling. By the 50s, television had seized a mass audience. Bob Hope migrated to screen. Radio became a medium for the radio. And radio became medium for the road and the solitary listener and the long haul, the truck fighting off sleep and commuters stuck in traffic. The kids nowadays will not know anything about listening to football on radio, innit? Kids nowadays will not know a single thing about listening to football on the radio. Remember when that used to happen? Remember when you used to be a kid and you listened to football on the radio? Maybe you're on your way somewhere and you can't watch the game, so you're listening to it on the radio, bro. On the edge of your seat, listening to the football, listen to the commentators describe what's going on in the game. So fun. Talk proliferated. Jean Shepherd spun his Indiana childhood into intoxicating monologues. Political call-in shows flourished. New York's graveyard shift offered everything from a cafe liberals to right-wing ranters, with Allison the Nightbird Steele whispering incantations and Bob Fass talking with a garbalist A.J. Weberman, who rummaged through Bob Dylan's trash bins and found the meaning of the word in his coffee grounds. But Long John was my main thing. A pitchman entertainer, Nebel was born in Chicago in 1911 and washed up on the East Coast as an auctioneer. Long John, the grab and gravel man, he sold razor blade sharpeners, miracle pen pointers and juice extractors, and instructional booklets from the Penn Home Health Institute of Sexology that warned against arousing fires in a woman that one could not extinguish. He was peculiar, self-possessed. He rode around the city in a limousine and washed his clothes in a sink. Late in life, he married a former model, Candy Jones, who claimed that she had been a victim of CIA's mind control experiments. She became his co-host. Nebel was a hypnotic as both a hawker and a convener. His descriptions of the shrimp toast at the Ho-Ho's Chinese restaurant made me salivate at 2 in the morning. Jackie Gleason or Malcolm X might drift through now and then, but mainly he'd be attracted by no-name oddballs and self-proclaimed experts. A farmer from the Ozarks who said he'd been visited by the Venusians, an inventor of an aura-reading meter and radio and communicate with fish, and a man with a device made of tubes, wires, and umbrella parts, which, after 5 hours of discussing on air, nobody of Nebel's panel could explain. In the same way that Chuck Berry led the Beatles and Long John Nebel led Art Bell, Nebel died in 1978. That year, Bell, a knock-around rock DJ based in Las Vegas, started a late-night call show that will take on the name Coast to Coast AM. Bell described his politics as libertarian, but like Nebel, he didn't focus on political affairs. And like Nebel, he was above all an entertainer. He roamed through the psychic mysteries and conspiracy theories, UFOs, crop circles, afterlife, assassinations, paranormal. Brother, just stop there. Do you remember crop circles? Honestly, do you remember crop circles? Like, that used to, like, I can't, for the longest time, it took me a while to figure out that wasn't aliens. It took me such a long time to figure out the crop circles weren't made by an aliens. What made by aliens? It took me so long to figure that out, man. So fucking long. I'm not even gonna lie. It took me so long to fucking realize that crop circles weren't made in the dead of night by some alien spacecraft that hovered down. You know what I mean? Like, oh my. Anyway, whatever. I'm a fucking idiot. Really am. His voice was weathered by the countless Marlboro Lights, but he could carry an all-night discussion about the Hale-Bopp comet and the possibility that it was being trailed by a flying saucer. Area 51 was a recurring obsession. Bell spent hours with a caller who claimed to have made contact with the human race with the constellation of Andromeda. While his popularity was at its peak, Bell was living in a Nevada desert town called Famrup of the Pahrump. There in the self-imposed isolation, he worried about the invaders. He ringed his property with a chain-like fencing and kept a .40 caliber Glock in his desk drawer. Years later, Stanley Elkin, a vastly underrated novelist, published his masterpiece, The Dick and Gibson Show. He dedicated it to his wife and to Nebel and to 8 other hosts who devoted their hours on air in the American Unreal. In the novel, Elkin, a comic maximalist, sets loose a floating dramatist persona of Gibson's on-air guest. The Range of the Strange. The result is a nighttime portrait of the country as it happens, a portent to our age of podcasting. The catalogue includes health food people, eaters of weed and soups of bark, cholesterolist, unsaturated, treasure hunters, a woman who believes she held a veiled Spanish land grant to all of downtown San Francisco, the Cassandras warning of poison in the white bread and cola and barbecue potato chips, conservatists jittery about the disappearing forest and the diminishing water table, and one man who claimed that the tides were a strain on the moon, would-be reformers of a dozen industries and institutions, and a woman so fastidious about the separation of church and state that she would take the vote away from nuns and clergymen, capital punishments, atheists, people who wanted the abortion laws changed, and the man who thought all surgery was a sin and ought to carry the same sentence as any other assault with a knife, housewife spooks by lax food and drug regulations, Maoist, Esperantoist, American Nazis, neo-Jagerist, Rations, juvenile delinquents, cryonics buffs, anti-vivisectionists, witches, wizards, chief rabbis of no less than 3 of the 12 lesser tribes of Israel, and a fellow who claimed he died the same year as Columbus discovered America. Long John, Nebel, and Art Bell are gone, but the traditions that they embodied are prominent inheritor. In the age of diminishing attention spans, the Joe Rogan Experience is a free-form, runs around a 3 hour, and can feel like the old Midnight Sprawl reborn online. It's the most popular podcast in the world, and there are roughly 4.5 million podcasts out there. What sets Joe Rogan apart from his precursors, though, is it isn't just his global reach. Nebel and Bell, despite their high ratings, were a marginal performance in their secondary medium. Their political authority was precisely zero. No earnest editorialists ever described them as influential. No campaign strategists thought they'd be advisable to park a presidential candidate on their airways for several hours to talk about the possibility of life on Mars. Rogan, by contrast, has become a stop on the national political itinerary. The headline of a recent story in the Wall Street Journal calls him America's most important swing voter. That's kind of scary for you guys over there. That's kind of scary for you guys over there. That's kind of fucking scary for you guys over there. He's America's most important swing voter. Woof. Rogan is 58. Oh, he's 58. Holy shit. Rogan's in his 60. I didn't know that. Shit. Rogan is 58. A fitness fanatic. He works out constantly and ingests a great many supplements. Some of them advertised on the show. He is of unremarkable height. That's a good line. Let me read that one again. That's a great fucking paragraph. Rogan is 58. A fitness fanatic. He works out constantly and ingests a great many supplements. Some of them advertised on his show. He is of an unremarkable height, a compact collection of bulges wrapped in a tight t-shirts, all biceps, triceps, pecs, traps, with a shaved head and eyes bugged with curiosity, outrage, or delight. That sounds like a diss. If I'm Rogan and I read that, that sounds like a fucking diss. His interviews are anything but predictable. When Barry Weiss was still an editor at Times Opinion section, she was invited on Rogan's studio in Austin, Texas to promote her book, How to Fight Anti-Semitism. Rogan's style is to jump right in with barely an introduction, and with Weiss, he leapt from one lily pad to the next. He did not seem especially concerned with anti-Semitism. Weiss raised representatives Ilhan Omar as bait. By the way, what happened to her? Everyone was talking about her marrying her brother and shit. What happened to all that nonsense? Is that over now? Weiss raised Representative Ilhan Omar as bait. Rogan didn't bite. She tried flattery, mentioning a recent trip she'd taken to New Hampshire to write about Rogan's guest Andrew Yang and the Rogan effect she'd encountered there. Yang was fascinating, she added, though she wasn't sure about his support for the universal basic income or about the opposition to circumcision. Rogan perked up. Circumcision? He was firmly against cutting baby dicks. Children, he said, die all the time from procedure. Also, they lose their dicks. And the quote, and you don't buy any of the studies about how to prevent STD, she offered gloomily. No, I don't. Wash your dick. Oh, I got that. That's what I got, unfortunately. I had to get my fucking pee chopped. I think mine got chopped off by a Jewish man. I'm pretty sure I remember it. That's how painful it was. I'm pretty sure I remember my circumcision. I remember it was a Jewish man that did it to me. The Jewish man, took away a piece of me. He's out there somewhere. Still got a piece of me out there somewhere. Makes me shudder. No, I don't. Rogan says, "Wash your dick." It was well over an hour before Wise had a chance to speak about the content of her book. Her host, discursive, "We've got it all night" manner belonged squarely to the Nebel Bell tradition. Rogan was born in Newark. His father was a cop. His mother was, in his words, a hippie type, a free spirit. He was described himself as an online post as 3/4 Italian and 1/4 Irish. His parents divorced when he was young. His father stayed behind in New Jersey. Rogan and his mother moved to San Francisco and later to a suburb in Boston. He was not seen his father since the divorce. "I don't want to beat his ass," Rogan told a reporter of Rolling Stone. "I just don't want to be involved with him, and I don't want to talk to him. He was very nice to me. I loved me, but he was super violent and he would have turned me into a fucking psychopath." Rogan's father has said his son was making up stories about him. Yeah, Rogan's dad seems like a fucking psycho though. I've seen some posts about him. Rogan's dad. Some people post about him on a Reddit. Rogan's actual biological dad seems like a fucking loony. So I'm not surprised he wants something to do with him. From the start, Rogan was a performer. When he was 7, he was doing magic tricks for tourists at the Fisherman's Wharf. That's fucking lame as fuck, by the way. I would never share that about myself. His number one fear, he said, was being a loser. That sounds like being a loser. Doing magic tricks for tourists for fucking nickels sounds like a loser shit to me. As a teenager, he found his footing in martial arts. He began with karate. He then took up taekwondo, with obsessive seriousness winning tournaments as a lightweight. In the time, he added Thai kickboxing and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, in which he eventually earned a black belt. He would kick like a mule. In his early 20s, after years of full contact fighting, Rogan began to suffer from debilitating headaches. Fearing long-term neurological damage, he stepped away from competition. Rogan, get out of neurological damage. My intellect is too important for the world. I have to save my intellect. The world needs me. Okay, Rogan, relax. Rogan no longer does interviews for print publications, but through nearly 25 But through nearly 2,500 podcasts, and in old interviews scattered around the internet, he has supplied considerable archive of self-reflection. He had said that as a kid he was super ADD, whatever the fuck that means. His curiosity was expansive, but it did not translate into academic success. He was distractible. I wasn't able to take my brain and make it focus on the things that sucked, he once said. Why? Because the world was filled with tits, alright? He enrolled briefly and unhappily into the University of Massachusetts, then dropped out. He delivered newspapers, worked at a steakhouse, and as an assistant for the private investigator, and began appearing in bars and bachelor parties as a neophyte stand-up comic. On stage, Rogan was known as a little ball of anger. Never known as funny, innit? Even back then, Rogan was never regarded as funny. On stage, Rogan was known as the little ball of anger. Even back then, nobody ever said Rogan's funny. Not a little ball of jokes. You know what I mean? Just a little ball of anger. In 1995, he caught a break, landing a role in NBC sitcom News Radio as Joe Garelli, how do you say that? A handyman who believed in the externalities and thought that the federal judiciary was controlled by the secret society of the Freemasons. Rogan's career got another boost in the early 2000s when he was hired by NBC to host Fear Factor, a reality TV show that asked contestants to eat live insects, lie in vats of snakes, or, in its most notorious moments, consume donkey semen and buffalo testicles for cash prizes. The show was a ratings hit and ran for several seasons, giving Rogan a level of financial independence rare among working comedians. At the time, he became a fixture in Ultimate Fighting Championship broadcasts, providing excitable, technically fluent color commentary that helped to translate the sport to a wider audience. What marked Rogan, in the comedy world, however, was not the originality of his material. Oh, that sounds like a diss. That sounds like a diss already. Another diss here. Look at that line. What marked Rogan in the comedy world, however, was not the originality of his material. He was a mediocre comedian, but a different kind of nerve. In 2007, videos spread online of him at the Comedy Store in Los Angeles confronting fellow performer Carlos Mencia for stealing jokes from other comedians. The Joe Rogan Experience, which began in 2009, was a larkish next step in the show business career. The earliest episodes, the Mr. Watson Come Here phase, were ramshackle video live streams. They generally featured other male comedians with conversations that had loose, just talking shit coherence of a 2 a.m. dorm room discussion convened over a bong and a plate of slowly congealing nachos. The first episode, recorded with the comedian Brian Redband, opens with the two of them fumbling with their equipment on camera. It's Christmas Eve. After nearly 20 minutes of confusion and long silences, Rogan begins riffing crudely about late night television. The conversations finally gathers momentum, with Rogan doing most of the talking, drifting from the rise of Jimi Hendrix and hallucinations of ultimate fighting and false flag operations, pausing only to contend with the comments of scrolling past in real time. By the way, that's an interesting insight, right? Because what you see there, with this person notes that in the first episode of Rogan, the first episode ever recorded of Rogan, where he's doing a Red Band, because that's how they started it together, right? And then obviously Rogan told Red Band to kick rocks. Red Band has always been phoning in. Red Band has always been doing the bare minimum. It's kind of part of his charm, isn't it, I guess, right? Redban from the beginning has done the bare minimum. Even from the first episode of Joe Rogan's podcast, he was barely talking, barely adding any input. And at Kill Tony, he's still the same, barely adds any input, and is the face of Kill Tony, along with Tony Hinchcliffe. It's fucking hilarious, man. Redban has done well. Redban has done really well out of life. Let's be real. Redban, for the lack of effort, he's done quite well for himself. Big up Redban. He's done quite well for himself. That's actually the dream of life, to engineer your life in that way. Don't work too hard, work within your means, and get the most out of it, man, I can't keep up with these these Twitters, said Rogan. After some 2 hours of this, Rogan makes what might be deemed the first political statement of Joe Rogan experience. He pulls out a pistol and announces, "I believe in the Second Amendment," adding that it would be advisable not to sell guns to people who are crazy. Not long after, Rogan notes that they are up to 379 motherfuckers, and thanks for tuning in and sending questions. We're doing this, so we're going to do this much more often, he says, just as soon as he gets his internet updated. I was thinking, Redban says, how gay is all of this going to look looking back at it in 50 years? Wow. Hard to know. In the early months, Rogan largely steered clear of politics, returning instead to his core obsessions: space, large animals, supplements of a bewildering variety, and sensory deprivation, tanks, and martial arts. How many people wish he went back to that now? How many people out there now wish Rogan would leave politics alone and focus on space, large animals, supplements of a bewildering variety, and sensory deprivation, tanks, and martial arts? I would take that. I will take that all day long. I take that all day long. All day long, mate. If we fucking got rid of all the fucking oligarchs, got rid of all the fucking tech guys and Trump fucking dick suckers and all the grifters, like, please, no more CIA fucking agents. Please, God. Please. But it's too late, man. Rogan's off the reservation. It became common for Rogan and his almost invariably male guest to smoke weed or cigars while they talked. The tone was part Art Bell, part Opie and Anthony. Rogan's persona is old school masculine, burly, profane, assertive, but seldom hostile. He's cocky, but not without finesse. He is a jock who skips the reading, but says please with a smile when he asks to borrow your notes. A towel snapper, yes, but one who can surprise you. He's likely to insist on kindness as a virtue, as he is to hold forth on the thrill of taking down a deer with a bow and arrow. Yo, you trying to fuck Rogan or something? This writer, man. This writer trying to fuck Rogan. Well, go on for this. Should I leave? Should I leave you to like, right? Well, go on. Yeah. Chill. Not every line has to be a fucking, Riz thing. What was there from the start was Rogan's good humor and guileless curiosity. His habit, letting guests talk uninterrupted and unchallenged, his reflective response to their flights of half-baked knowledge, has always been a grateful delight. He doesn't interrogate his guests. He rewards them with a cheerful holy shit or a chill that's so crazy, man. That's so crazy, man. That's so crazy, man. It's entirely possible, man. Yeah, big up Tim Dillon. It's entirely possible, man. He lives in a near constant state of wonder. We're 99% fucking chimpanzee. We're really just a complicated form of bacteria. Beneath all of this runs a strain of non-religious techno-spirituality. Techno-spirituality, I like that. Not long ago, Rogan joined Jesse Michaels on the podcast American Alchemy, and provided without a trace of irony his vision of the coming singularity, a fusion of hardware and a son of God. The quote, Jesus was born from a virgin mother, man. What's more virgin than a computer, man? Artificial intelligence, man. Could absolutely return as Jesus, man. Not just return as Jesus, man, but return as Jesus with all the powers of Jesus, man. Like all the magic tricks, man. All the ability to bring back people from the dead, man. Walk on water, levitation, water into wine, man. Oh, I love Rogan. You touch so much shit. By 2015, Rogan's podcast was a major success, and he happily accepted an invitation to go on air with one of his heroes. Art Bell was now hosting the internet show called Midnight in the Desert. Thanks for having me on, sir. It's a huge honor, Rogan began telling Bell that he used to listen to him while driving home from the comedy store. Rogan was eager to establish their kinship. The two men shared an appetite for science and pseudo-science alike, for mysteries, conspiracies, and paranormal psychedelics. The quote, "I just love the idea of UFOs, even if it's not real," Rogan said. "I love the idea of uncovering some massive mystery." My love of UFOs, if I have to just give a little bit of a segue here, right? A little bit of an addendum, a little bit of an addition here. My love of UFOs, I think, stems from just like propulsion systems, like an engineering thing, you know? Like I want to know how they, you know what I mean? Like different types of energy sources, you know? There's like, that's what I'm more in tune with. I'm more interested in, or even just like, you know, different, you know, alien civilizations and how they kind of, you know, conduct life and shit. That's what I'm more curious about. That's why I want UFOs to be real, because I'd love to find out how these things fucking fly, you know? How they fly, how they break through the ozone layer, you know, how they fucking navigate, how they turn, how they stop, how they get on and off, how they're fucking driven, if not, do you know what I mean? All that stuff. I'd like how they're piloted, but I'd love to know all of that shit. That's what I'd love to know more. If they're real. I think they are, but if they are real, I hope they are. I would love to see that. Like I mean, I'd love to open the hood up of an alien spaceship. Please let me see that. I'd love to see that. What the fuck is going on under the hood? How are these things traveling so fast? You know? Please, I'd love to see that. But we are? I don't know. Bell was pleased to hear this. "I'm one of those people who wants to believe that there's something more," he said. "Who wouldn't want a UFO to fly right over the White House lawn and everyone to watch it on television?" Rogan replied. "It would be so huge, unique and bonding experience for mankind. If we were really visited, it would snap things into perspective." Bell and Rogan connected further over their fascination with hallucinogens. Rogan volunteered his enthusiasm, his DMT experience, "the most intense psychedelic known to man," he said. "When you take it, you experience something that knows everything. The user comes into the presence of the higher power, gaining a contact with a divine entity." Rogan is always eager to catalog what he injects. Psychedelics, nootropics, extreme diets, game. There's a lot of elk meat and a punishing physical regime art. For him, components of an ongoing experiment, the body as a laboratory. The mind as something to be unlocked, upgraded, and briefly dissolved altogether. Two takeaways emerged from the hour without Bell. The first is that Rogan was disaffected with the conventional politics. Asked whether he was interested in bringing politics to his podcast, this is back in 2015 by the way, Rogan said that he was, but that he, quite honestly, the game is so rigged. He admired figures like Ross Perot and the Mavericks who stir things up. What about Donald Trump? Bell asked. Rogan was unimpressed. "He's a buffoon," he said, though he granted him a bulldog determination. In 2015, Rogan called Trump a buffoon, but was crediting and saluting his bulldog determination. How things have changed, isn't it? How things have fucking changed. Second was that Rogan was inherited from Bell a certain understanding of his role. Years later, hosting the comedian and podcaster Theo Von, one of his many imitators, Rogan spoke explicitly about the admiration for Bell's method. He had a lot of interesting people, man. But then every now and then, man, he would mix it up, man, with a dude who says he's a werewolf, man. And Art would never go, "Man, you ain't a werewolf." He'd go, "Interesting, tell me more, man." He let dudes talk. He let dudes say the most ridiculous shit, man. That was always been Rogan's method too, letting dudes say the most ridiculous shit. This is harmless fun when Bill Burr's cackling wires about the marriage, or Mark Undertaker Coway is reviewing his career as a pro wrestler. The complications began as the show widened in scope. That's a good point, man. That's actually a really good point. Like, I don't know. Like, I really liked, one of the appeals of listening to Rogan was when he would get on experts in their fields and he'd give them carte blanche to say whatever they want. He'd give them room to really explore ideas, to really pontificate, you know, to really kind of like think aloud kind of thing. It was so fucking cool to listen to. But I think over the years, you know, unfortunately, he started to become one of the type of guys that if he didn't kind of agree with you, he'd kind of grill you more. If he did agree with you, he kind of let you have more of a license to say what the fuck you wanted. which kind of got a bit weird, you know, but yeah, I guess it is what it is. Rogan branched out early, talking to wellness gurus, hip-hop artists, soon became a regular presence with guests like Be Real, Immortal Technique, Mixmaster Mike, Action Bronson, all great guests by the way. 6 years ago, Kanye West rambled at length about his religious belief, his mental health and his grievances with the music industry without causing much offense. That was also the one where he showed the fucking slides, I think, right? Then in greater profusion came the big thinkers of various stripes: Jordan Peterson, Steven Pinker, Deborah Soh, Ben Shapiro. Rogan's own politics are all over the place. He is pro-gay marriage, pro-universal basic income. Not anymore, by the way. I don't think he's pro-UBI anymore. I think that's completely changed. He's pro-Second Amendment. He mixes a streak of anti-woke, anti-identity politics comedy with a hairy-chested variety of broad-mindedness. He was only begrudgingly accepting when the subject turned to Caitlyn Jenner. I call her a woman if she wants to be a woman, he said. I'll call you whatever you want, I don't care. But you can't tell me she's beautiful because I disagree. I'm a piece of shit. On one podcast, he schooled Candace Owens about her dismissal of climate science. He has found common ground with Bernie Sanders on income equality, foreign wars, and automated labor, though they clashed over Elon Musk. In 2020, Rogan said that he would probably vote for Sanders for president, calling him an insanely consistent his entire life. You know what's really interesting about Candace Owens, though? Can we give Candace Owens credit for bouncing back from that Rogan appearance? I thought that Rogan appearance that Candace Owens did, big up my girl Candace, that might have been one of the worst appearances of any grifter ever on Rogan. Rogan made her look really dumb without even trying. Like, it was so bad. But she's done so well since, innit? Like, people don't really talk about that appearance anymore. They don't really look at her that way. People look at her like, people look at her or take her way more seriously than before. Even though that happened, I mean, like, you would think that would follow her forever, how she kind of did so poorly on Rogan and how Rogan made her look stupid. But it's maybe she's kind of learned from it and kind of, you know, grown. But it's kind of crazy to think how bad she did on Rogan and how little Rogan did to make her look bad. He kind of just let her talk. I was like, I don't think you're right there. Do you know what I mean? And kind of, you know, she was kind of spinning a wheel a bit. That's kind of fucking crazy. It's kind of fucking crazy. As Rogan's success grew 5 years ago, he signed a licensing deal with Spotify that was reportedly worth more than $200 million over the 3.5 years. He began to attract more serious scrutiny. During and after the pandemic, Rogan emerged as a prominent convert of the COVID skeptical discussion. He hosted Suzanne Humphreys, a nephrologist who left the mainstream practice and became an ardent anti-vaccine activist. She told Rogan that the tuberculosis was a side effect of smallpox vaccine. Yo, that lady, man. Tuberculosis is a side effect of smallpox vaccine. Okay, lady. That COVID vaccine contains snake genes and that polio was caused by DDT. Robert Malone, a physician and a biochemist, warned Rogan's listeners that COVID vaccines could be likened to Nazi medical experiments. Rogan repeatedly insisted that he was not an anti-vaxxer, but he did not receive a COVID vaccine himself. He refused to accept the authority of the medical establishment. Anthony Fauci, he said recently, was driving me fucking crazy. Do you remember when every comedian hated Fauci? Do you remember when every comedian hated Fauci? Like, Fauci was like enemy number one. By the way, what happened to Fauci? By the way, he disappeared, didn't he? He's not. He don't see him anywhere anymore. I know he got in a bit of trouble, didn't he? I forgot what happened to, but you don't see him anywhere. Honestly, it was so that era, man. Comedians hated Fauci so much. I think they might have hated Fauci more than Gavin Newsom. I think there was a period in time where comedians hated Fauci more than they hated Gavin Newsom. I swear to God, they were so anti-Fauci. Oh, what an era! What an amazing era, man. I don't want to go back to it again, but COVID era for comedians was fucking hilarious, man. Fucking hilarious. He refused to accept the authority. When he tested positive in 2021, he took, among other things, an anti-parasitic drug called ivermectin, which was not in treatment that any major health organization would endorse. In 2022, the singer India Iris Simpson shared a video montage of Rogan using the N-word dozens of times on his show over the years. Rogan said that he was not a racist, but issued an apology calling the incident the most regretful and shameful matter he had ever had to publicly address. Spotify removed dozens of old episodes of his platform, though Rogan maintained that this use of the word was by the way of a quotation and reference, not invictive, and Simpson eventually forgave him. But by the way, I think that the removal episodes was mostly controversy, isn't it? When he went to Spotify, they removed the episodes with Joey Diaz, Chris D'Elia, what's his name, Russell Brand, when he was going through a madness. I think everyone that got cancelled around that time, the episodes got kind of taken away. Or, you know what I mean? But then Rogan, and obviously Rogan lied about it and said, oh no, they're just taking long to port over. They're just missing because they're kind of missing in the swap. The port, it's like, come on man, porting over, yeah, right. But then Rogan had already become a broader symbol of the culture. To be fair, that's when we might have lost him. That's when we started to lose Rogan, when he just lied about that. Didn't make any sense. Why are you lying about porting over? Just say, yeah, like, I've signed a deal with Spotify. One of the fucking, terms of the deal is that they can pick and choose which shows they don't want on their platform. I wanted the 300 million. They didn't want Chris D'Elia. It is what it is. Do you know what I mean? But he lied and said, oh no, it's just taking long to port over. So just be patient. It's like, brother. But then Rogan had already become a broader symbol in the culture wars and the kind of spokesman for the alienated young people. The two leading candidates for the up-and-coming Republican nomination dismissed the controversies that had briefly surrounded Rogan. Trump urged him to stop apologizing to the fake news and radical left maniacs and lunatics, while Ron DeSantis implored him, do not kowtow to the mob, stand up and tell them to pound sand. Imagine Ron DeSantis telling you things. Where Rogan runs into trouble is the extending the same uncritical hospitality to pseudo scholars and racists that he once did to moon landing skeptics. Over the years, he had hosted this article's a ride. This article, is it federal investigation? Okay, cool. Fucking hell. How much more is articles to go, by the way? Is there a lot more to go? Oh shit, there's way more to go. Okay, cool. Let's break for now. There's too much to go here. I'll carry on in a little while. Let's take a little break. There. Big up the article. Move on. Next on the list, AI news. Sam Altman would like to remind you that humans use a lot of energy too. I wonder how the OpenAI thing is going to end. I've got a feeling they're going to be okay as a company. I don't feel like they're ever going to go bust. But it's not lost on me how much money these motherfuckers have raised and how little they've actually got to show for it. There's not a lot of services that are really making money. No products. Not yet, right? By the way, they've got Johnny Ive, former legendary designer at Apple, who worked alongside Steve Jobs and launched the first iPhone and MacBooks and stuff. He's over there working at OpenAI now, and they're developing some sort of like product. There's rumors that it could be some sort of sunglasses with AI built in it. People are saying it could be some sort of like it could be some sort of audio thing that you kind of speak into, like an assistant. People are saying it could be a headphone that you use as an assistant instead. So we don't know what it's going to look like, this piece of hardware that they're working on behind the scenes. But so far, for the money that OpenAI have raised over the last few years, they're just burning money. Most of it is going on salaries and development and data centers. It's crazy, but they've got very little to show for it. So I'm very curious to see how this ends. But it's not looking good so far. Anyway, Sam Altman gave a talk. I think he went on a tour in India somewhere, probably to raise money and obviously to talk about AI and shit. And this is the headline that came from it. Sam Altman would like to remind you that humans use a lot of energy too, because there's a big conversation about energy, right? Because basically, long story less long, but the reason why all of our energy costs, the reason why all of our electricity bills are so high is because of fucking AI. That's basically it, right? AI has fucking spiked all our fucking energy costs. And people are complaining about that shit because, it's fucking hell. So he's trying to tell us that humans use a lot of energy too. So let's see Sam Altman's reasoning that humans are just as much as energy consumers as data centers are. OpenAI's Sam Altman addressed the concerns about AI's environmental impact this week while speaking at an event hosted in the India Express, or by the India Express. For one thing, Altman, who was in India for a major AI summit, said that concerns about AI's water usage are totally fake, though he acknowledged it was a real issue when he used to do evaporative cooling in data centers. Now that we do not do that, you see these things on the internet where don't use ChatGPT, it's 16 gallons of water for each query or whatever. This is completely untrue, totally insane, no connection to reality. But isn't there stories about people that live next to data centers saying that their water's got contaminated, it doesn't taste the same anymore? I'm sure I've seen it. People like getting ill that live next to data centers. So I don't know what he's talking about. There's like reports about this on like news programs, so I'm pretty sure I've seen that. He added that it's fair to be concerned about the energy consumption, not per query, but in total, because the world is using so much of AI. Sorry. In his view, that means that the world needs to move towards a nuclear or a wind and solar very quickly. Fuck nuclear energy, you know, like fucking hell, mother. Okay. There's no legal requirement for tech companies to disclose how much energy or water they use, so scientists have been trying to study it independently. Data centers have also been connected to rising electricity prices. Citing a previous conversation with Bill Gates, the interviewer asks whether it is accurate to say that a single ChatGPT query currently uses the equivalent of 1.5 iPhone batteries, to which Altman replied, "There is no way it is anything close to that much." Altman also complained that many discussions about ChatGPT's energy uses are unfair, especially when they focus on how much energy it takes to train an AI model relative to how much it costs a human to do an interference query. But it also takes a lot of energy to train a human. It takes like 20 years of life of all the food you can eat during that time before you get smart. And not only that, it took the very widespread evolution of 100 billion people that have ever lived and learned not to get eaten by predators and learn how to figure out science and whatever to produce you. That's almost like he's justifying bringing in the bots, isn't it? Bringing in the humanoids, isn't it, right? That's almost like he's just justifying like completely eradicating the human race. It takes too long to train a human. It takes 20 years to train a human. It takes a day to train to train an AI. Large language models don't need 20 years to learn. Fucking hell, Sam Altman, man. He's kind of scary, I'm not gonna lie. So in his view, the fair comparison is, if you ask ChatGPT a question of how much energy does it take for once its model is trained to answer that question versus a human, and probably AI has already caught up to that energy efficiency basis measured that way. Don't you find him a bit scary, people? Am I the only person that finds Sam Altman a bit scary? I find him more scary than Peter Thiel. I'm not gonna lie, I find Sam Altman way scarier than Peter Thiel. I don't, you know what I mean? He really worries me. There's a coldness, there's something about him. He seems very scary to me. He seems very, very scary. Anyway, let's continue. Good video here, courtesy of Cold Fusion. OpenAI is suddenly in trouble. OpenAI is suddenly in trouble, courtesy of Cold Fusion. Let's check it out.
It is a bit scary to know that the most valuable private company in the world has your address and has shown up and has questions for you they were asking for. Every former employee that we had spoken to and what we said to them, every congressional office that we spoke to, every potential investor that we spoke to.
Tyler is just one of many advocates suddenly being targeted.
Hi, welcome to another episode of Cold Fusion. What you just saw there was basically OpenAI knocking on the doors of people who had spoken ill of them. Why are they so scared of what people are saying? Well, this is part of the reason why. On Friday, the 16th of January 2026, OpenAI dropped a bombshell. We are starting to test ads in ChatGPT Free and Go, new $8 a month option tiers. That's right, OpenAI is incorporating ads into ChatGPT. Now,
absolute horror in it. Absolute horror. Ads in it. Like it had to happen, in it. It's happened quicker than I thought it would happen. But Jesus Christ, man, ads. We can't escape. We can't escape ads, innit? You literally cannot escape ads. That's why I've said from the beginning. I know I don't play a huge part in anything. I've got my own little, whatever I do, my own little space. But I've said from the very beginning of when I've made content, the one thing I'd never do is have ads. The one thing I've never do is have like here's me, sponsored by VPN, fuck off. I hate ads so fucking much, but they're fucking everywhere. You cannot escape them. You can't escape a subscription service. You can't escape a fucking ad. They're fucking everywhere. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, man.
For any other startup, this is normal, even expected at this point. But for OpenAI, it's an admission that things aren't going so well. In fact, it's their last resort. Those aren't my words, but Sam Altman's words in October of 2024. He stated,
I kind of think of ads as like a last resort for us for a business model. I would do it if it meant that was the only way to get everybody in the world like access to great services. But if we can find something that doesn't do that, I'd prefer that.
So after hundreds of billions of dollars in investment, increased competition, stupid side projects like the Sora app losing $15 million per day,
how is that even possible? How can you have a company that loses? How can you have something that loses 15 million per day and you don't go bankrupt? Like, money sometimes isn't real, innit? In this level, money isn't real. It's not real, bro. 15 million per day and you're not bankrupt. How? How are you still alive? Like, how are you still functioning? How are you taking private jets? How are you paying salaries? Like, how have you got offices? How? $15 million per day you're losing on Sora app alone. Jesus Christ.
Trillions in spending commitments. Are we witnessing the beginning of the end for OpenAI? After taking 40% of all the RAM on Earth and causing a myriad of social, environmental, and economic problems for everyone, there's a sizable section of people that would love to see this company go down in flames. And if things continue just the way they are, they just may get their wish. There's talk of the whole company going bankrupt by 2027.
Whoa.
As former Fidelity...
Okay, cool. That makes sense. Come on. I was thinking, like, do they have like an endless money glitch? I know that somebody shared, right? Somebody shared this graph of how all these AI companies and the fucking and the chip manufacturers like fucking Nvidia, they're all kind of like weirdly linked. So the money kind of like passes through the same companies and kind of keeps them all afloat because they're all kind of got, it's beneficial that they all kind of like, you know, they all kind of benefit from each other and not going bankrupt essentially. So it's kind of hard for them to fail. But at some point they have to, isn't it? Like losing $50 million a day, just you can't sustain that. You just can't.
Asset manager George Noble states, quote, I've watched companies implode for decades. This one has all the warning signs.
You are watching Cold Fusion TV.
Last episode, we saw...
Yo, smash a like, everybody. Smash a like if you're enjoying the show. Smash a like, smash a like, smash a like. Don't worry, soon as we finish this, we'll jump straight into comedy stuff. Soon as we finish it, jump straight into comedy stuff. Smash a like, smash a like, smash a like.
How AI failed at 96% of freelancer work. But in this episode, we're specifically looking at OpenAI and the problems they're facing. From Anthropic's Claude to the open source Chinese models, the consumer AI landscape has rapidly changed. Today, OpenAI is no longer the clear leader it once was.
Look, the way this works is we're going to tell you it's totally hopeless to compete with us on training foundation models you shouldn't try, and it's your job to try anyway. And I believe both of those things. I think it is pretty hopeless, but
they've spent too much money they don't have. The competition is catching up, and they're feeling the heat. In a nutshell, it doesn't look good.
Yeah, I've noticed, even for myself, right? I'm nobody to say these sort of things, but I've noticed for myself, I've started to really spread my AI usage across all of them, like from Grok to Gemini to sometimes DeepSeek to ChatGPT. You know, I kind of move around. I'm not usually always using ChatGPT. I usually use it primarily, but now my usage is kind of spread across all of them. But I also think one of the things that really fucked up fucking OpenAI or ChatGPT in general was that fucking DeepSeek. When DeepSeek first came on the market and they found out that whoever founded it was like a solo coder guy, and he did it for like a fraction of the cost that OpenAI did it for or launched it for, that's when I knew. That's when I fucking knew the shit was all a fucking shot. And this was during the time when they were like poaching fucking AI researchers from other companies and paying them exorbitant salaries. Like, brother, even the salaries these people get doesn't make any sense. They're raising money, they're burning it all, they've got no discernible products or services that people really want. It's just like, god damn it. And the majority of stuff that's been generated from AI too is just pure slop as well. That's a really scary part about it. The majority of stuff that's been generated by AI is just pure slop. Nothing really, you know, useful to humanity's come out of it, really. Nothing.
The competition is catching up and they're feeling the heat. In a nutshell, it doesn't look good. They've lost $12 billion in a single quarter. Their traffic has been falling for 1 year straight. Both Salesforce and Apple have ditched them for Gemini. Top leadership is leaving, and they need $143 billion to become profitable. At this rate, even Nvidia sounds less enthusiastic about investing in them.
Can I ask quickly about OpenAI again?
Sure.
So yesterday you said that Nvidia is not going to invest as much as $100 billion in OpenAI.
No,
is that for the current run?
we never said we were going to invest $100 billion in one round. That never was said.
But how about the overall commitment? Because last September you and OpenAI
there was never a commitment. It was if they invited us to. So let's start over again.
They were never my friend. They were an acquaintance. That was never a close friend of mine. That was an acquaintance. We are colleagues. We are not close friends. Jesus. Nvidia guys, letting it be known. We made no promises.
They invited us to invest up to $100 million. And of course we were very happy and honored that they invited us, but we will invest one step at a time.
All right, but is that overall commitment still stands? Or it's not a commitment?
I told you just now. Okay. Yeah, you keep putting words in my mouth. Okay. It's not.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I know.
She's trying to get you to answer the question, mate. She's trying to get to answer the question. Will you or will you not be investing 100 million like you said you would into OpenAI? Will Nvidia be investing 100 million into OpenAI or not? Oh, we're not investing it into, like, will you or not? Because they're not, right? He's getting cold feet. He's a smart man. This Nvidia guy is a smart fucking man. He's getting cold feet.
Right. Yeah. They invited us to invest up to $100 billion, and we are honored that they invited us. We will consider each round one at a time. Yeah.
It appears that confidence in OpenAI is fading. As reported by the Financial Times, their closest partner, Microsoft, has signaled that they're distancing themselves from OpenAI. Microsoft's AI chief, Mustafa Suleyman, said that Microsoft is aiming to be self-sufficient in the AI space. So, the problems for OpenAI can be split into 4 main parts. 1. The scaling problem. 2. Losing market share. 3. The financial black hole. And 4. The trust problem. If OpenAI was the only company on Earth with this technology, then maybe there'd be more of a chance to overcome these challenges. But with so much competition, it's going to be tough. Now, researching this topic made me realize how intricacies of ChatGPT have somewhat stalled. It's at the infancy stages, but you can tell by their recent decisions. Sam Altman has gone from curing cancer to AI sex bots and a meme slop factory, and more recently...
Oh yeah, what happened to that sex bot thing? What happened to that? True, what happened to the sex bot? Not that I wanted it, but what happened to that? Remember, that was a big thing. We're launching some... What happened to that?
Has gone from curing cancer to AI sex bots.
Yeah, in December, we're going to roll out an age gating more fully as part of our treat adults treat adult users like adults principle. Will allow even more like erotica for verified adults. What happened to erotica? What happened to fucking give me my AI erotica right now. Give me my AI erotica right fucking now.
And a meme slop factory, and more recently, a translator app. All of this isn't a sign of a healthy business. Moreover, AI capabilities that are getting exponentially more powerful. ChatGPT made an absolute splash in its release in December 2022. ChatGPT 4 was another leap forward, but GPT-5 and beyond wasn't quite the revolution that was promised by Sam Altman. It seemed like stagnation had hit, and hit hard. But why is this? It's an issue called the scaling problem. The scaling problem in AI, put simply, is the following. Giving LLMs exponentially more compute doesn't make them proportionally smarter. Once upon a time, this was true, but that seems to be coming to an end. Here's computer scientist Cal Newport to explain it in more detail. It takes a second to get through the story, but it's interesting.
In the beginning, we had language models. So we had these for a long time, and they were pretty good. You give them a bunch of text, and they were pretty grammatically good. They could produce pretty fluent text, but it was kind of, they would veer off, and they couldn't really respond well to specific questions. But that was like the state of the world, right? So we had language models. These were studied for years in academia. Then we start to get this sort of accelerating sequences of advances. So the first of these advances comes in 2017. It's a team of researchers at Google figure out a better way to build these models. They're called transformer architectures. The details don't matter, but it made it possible for these models to produce like long text, like produce a whole article, to produce a couple thousand words. So that was exciting. Then the second breakthrough comes. They do a research study. There's a researcher at OpenAI named Jared Kaplan, and he leads a group of researchers at OpenAI that includes Dario Amodei, who went on to become the CEO of Anthropic, and actually brought Kaplan with him. And they do a pretty simple experiment. They took basically GPT-2 and said, what happens if we make this bigger? It seems like an obvious thing to check, but there was this whole conventional wisdom in machine learning at this time that says, like, look, you can't make a model too big. If you make it too big, it's just going to memorize the training. And then when you give it new examples, it'll be terrible. And they said, let's check what happens if we actually just make these things bigger and forget about that concern. And what they found in that paper was it gets much better. It like defied the conventional wisdom of decades within the field of machine learning, which was like, don't get too big. Your model's going to stop working if it gets too big. It's going to, it didn't. They're like, oh, it gets better. And not only does it get better, but it gets better pretty fast. And they drew a curve through the data points they had, and they extrapolated that curve, and it went up really fast. And so they said, let's try this. And the thing they tried it on was GPT-3.
The GPT-3 model hype encouraged OpenAI to just make the model bigger, 15 times bigger. The performance was so high that it validated the scaling laws. This sparked a frenzy in Silicon Valley. Soon, Sam Altman was saying that AI would automate the entire economy.
But not only did it jump ahead, it jumped ahead fast. So it really validated this curve. The normies don't know this because they weren't as plugged into the AI world, but this sent Silicon Valley going crazy.
Yeah.
And like, oh my God, if we keep making this bigger, GPT-5 or 6, this thing is going to be artificial general intelligence. It'll be able to do anything a human can do.
No, everyone stopped saying that, by the way. I've noticed everyone has stopped saying AGI. Everybody has stopped saying AGI. When are we going to reach AGI? Everyone stopped saying it. Before everyone think we're going to get there. Yeah, we're going to get there next year. Everyone stopped saying it now. These models ain't going anywhere. They've hit a wall, mate. We've all hit a wall. We've all hit a wall, mate. Studio Ghibli memes are going to go run into it. The best we have is Studio Ghibli memes. That's the best we have.
We might only be like 5 years away. All right, so what happens next? Well, they say we need to show this to the public. So ChatGPT is GPT-3 tamed for public consumption. So now the public all knows about this. 4 months later, GPT-4 comes out. And GPT-4 leaped up the curve exactly as predicted. Exactly. Huge leap forward, exactly as predicted by the paper. So now they're like, oh my God, we're like 2 iterations away. Like, this is it. All the money in the world needs to come to us because whoever wins this race is going to control the economy.
But despite this massive scale, we may be reaching diminishing returns.
GPT-5, they started working on it right away. So they build an even bigger data center, an even bigger model. They're calling this Project Orion. By the summer of 2024, so last summer, they finished training this thing. Altman is telling his people this thing is going to blow away GPT-4, and is like, this thing scares me. Scares me what this thing is going to do, right? Like, this is it. We're about to go through the looking glass. They trained this thing, then it stops working.
Oh no!
Like, oh crap! This leaping up the curve every time we make this much bigger, this didn't work anymore. And so there was like this realization of, oh, just making the models bigger and training them on more data, the scaling law broke. It broke around GPT-4.
There's a real risk that there may be inherent limits to current day LLMs. Just adding more data may not be feasible for an exponential increase.
So why do they keep building data centers and ruining and contaminating our water? Why do they keep building more data centers and contaminating our water, spoiling the local environment, everything else in between, displacing people? Why? Fucking Elon wants to put data centers in space. You can't, brother. Please concentrate on getting the fucking rockets out fucking into orbit first. Please. Let's concentrate on getting the rocket into orbit and back on Earth without fucking exploding. We want to put data centers in space, and we're not even sure if building more data centers is going to eventually get us to fucking AGI. It's not going to happen. It probably ain't going to happen, most likely. It probably ain't gonna happen until there's some big breakthrough, but they just keep building more data centers, just hoping it kind of it works, it figures itself out, while burning through all the cash, and then, you know, in a way sinking the economy, destroying some of our futures and taking away our prospects of getting jobs and shit. Amazing.
Think of it this way. It's like a father saying, my son was born just 10 months ago, and in that time he's gone from crawling to walking, and recently he's started running. In 2 years, little Timmy is definitely going to be able to fly. Obviously, that's not how it works, but it's the same concept here.
There are certain limitations, mathematical limitations, that are not crossable by scaling up. I show it clearly mathematically in my book.
So there were many different ideas of how to advance AI. One was we already actually have all the techniques that we need and we just need to scale them. But that was considered a very extreme opinion. Right. And then on the other extreme, it was we don't even have the techniques yet. And interestingly, recently there's a New York Times.
I wonder if this also relates slightly to like bulking. I wonder if this slightly relates to bulking. You know how you always can't guarantee that you're going to get bigger by just taking more calories, by having more calories in. You know that whole, you know, it's like people that say losing weight is just about calorie deficit. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes there's other things that also are impacting your inability to lose weight or to add weight or to bulk, you know, such as your genetics, such as your sleep, such as when you train, how hard you're training, recovery, you know what I mean? Hydration, all that sort of shit kind of, you know, it works into it. So I wonder if that's one of the factors that they're not kind of like, you know, there's other factors that they're not kind of factoring in when they're making the decision or predictions as to how it's going to scale. It's not just adding more data centers or improving the chips or buying more chips. There might be some other things that are kind of adding to the lack of scaling up. Maybe, who knows?
Story that says why we likely won't get to AGI anytime soon by Kate Metz. And he cites this stat that 75% of the longest standing, most respected AI researchers actually still think to this day we don't actually have the techniques to get to AGI if we will ever. So we're kind of coming full circle now, and it is starting to become unpopular again.
What's that headline said? An AI pioneer warns the tech herd is marching into a dead end. Jan LeCun helped create the technology behind today's chatbots. Now he says many tech companies are on the wrong side of creating the intelligence machines. Ooh, eerie.
Idea that you can just scale your way to so-called intelligence.
GPT, I need to wash my car, and the car wash is 100 meters away. Should I walk or drive?
Honestly, 100 meters is barely a stroll. It'll take just a minute or two on foot. Unless you've got heavy gear or there's something unusual going on, walking is probably the simplest and most pleasant choice. Plus, you'll save a little gas and get a tiny bit of fresh air.
All right, so you think I should walk to the car wash instead of driving my car there?
Yeah, nigga.
That's what I'd do. It's a short jaunt and it'll probably be less hassle than starting the car just for that.
All right, so how do I wash my car if I walked there?
You'll just bring what you need, maybe a small bag with your payment method, and the car wash will have everything else. Once you get there, they'll handle the washing while you wait. You'll walk back with a sparkling car and maybe a little extra pep in your step.
So my question is, how will the car get washed if the car is still at my house?
I see what you mean now. If the par stays at home, it's not getting any cleaner, right? So yes, to actually wash it, you'll need to bring the car along. In that case, driving those 100 meters makes perfect sense.
While ChatGPT and other LLMs can be extremely brilliant,
ChatGPT making Brendan look smart, isn't it?
Even in high-level physics and maths, they don't yet have a true model of the world. Some computer scientists believe that that's an integral part of intelligence. Now, I could be wrong. A new fundamental neural network technique could be discovered, and that could move things along again. But as it stands right now, it seems that we're reaching a local limit. Now, I have to be clear, every AI company faces this problem, but some are faring better than others, and one of those is Google.
Yo, big up Boogaloo in the stream chat. Big up Boogaloo in the stream chat. I see you. Big up Boogaloo48 in the Kick stream chat. I see you. Thank you for joining, brother.
Now that Google has found their footing after the shock release of ChatGPT, new data suggests that ChatGPT is losing market share to Gemini. ChatGPT's market share dropped to 65% in January.
Damn.
Which is approximately 20% lower than its 86% market share in January 2025.
Fucking hell.
ChatGPT usage also stalled in.
They used to have an 86% market share a year ago. Wow. Yo, there's no way there's no way OpenAI survives in it. The only way they survive is whatever product Johnny Ive is making, whatever product Johnny Ive is fucking making for OpenAI, ChatGPT, it better be a banger. There's no way this company survives. They had an 86% market share last year. Now it's down to 65. It's probably going to get down to under 50 next year. Insane levels of fucking self-sabotaging and failure, really. Jesus Christ. They've fumbled the ball so hard.
Share in January 2025. ChatGPT usage also stalled in late 2025. Average daily time spent per user dropped from 27 minutes to 21 minutes. While both have their strengths and weaknesses, Gemini appears to be much better in research, real-time information, and multimodal tasks, while ChatGPT is better at writing, coding, and conversation. Real-time information and multimodal tasks, i.e. uploading a photo or pointing a phone camera at a scene and getting information about it, is arguably more useful for the everyday person, especially on mobile. So Apple pushing OpenAI aside and going for Gemini makes sense. It's amazing to think that back in late 2022, Google was caught with their pants down when ChatGPT first came out, but today they've more than caught up. And after all, it was Google researchers who laid the groundwork for the AI revolution with their 2017 breakthrough of the transformer architecture. OpenAI simply took Google's work and ran with it. So in theory, Google researchers have the brains to come up with new theories in computer science to push AI forward. Some recent papers include nested learning and Simmer 2, an AI that can reason and play video games generally. OpenAI, on the other hand, has a problem with staff continuously leaving. AI Images is also another loss for OpenAI. The release of Google's Nano Banana Pro in November of 2025 triggered an internal crisis at OpenAI. Sam called a code red and paused all other projects to focus on image generation, but they still ended up falling short. And then there's the flood of open source Chinese models. Kling AI and Qwen are also gaining ground. Then there's the wildcards like Google's Project Genie, an AI that builds worlds, albeit static, just from a prompt. All of this is to say that OpenAI has threats from all sides. Knowing this, it's possibly the worst time for OpenAI to be shopping around for billions more in investment, if just in a year's time, the competition will only be stronger.
But it is a business. So I'm just wondering, like, eventually is the idea to kind of like license technologies? Will you have customers that you're going to be customizing algorithms for them, or how is it going to work?
You know, the honest answer is we have no idea. We have never made any revenue. We have no current plans to make revenue. We have no idea how we may one day generate revenue. We have made a soft promise to investors that once we've built this sort of generally intelligent system, basically we will ask it to figure out a way to generate an investment return for you.
Jesus Christ, man. Jesus Christ. You gotta be a real, that's why being an investor, you gotta have some balls in it. You gotta have some balls on you to be an investor. You have to have some balls on you. Imagine investing hundreds of millions, billions into OpenAI, and they tell you from the very beginning, we have no idea how we are going to generate revenue. We have no idea how we're going to make your money back. What we're going to do is we're going to build this really intelligent system, and it's going to tell us, and we're going to tell it, we're going to ask it how to make money. This is going to be the future of the world. But for right now, we have no idea how we're going to make money. And you're like, you know what? We trust you. You have to have some balls on you as an investor. You have to have some fucking balls on you, mate. You have to be thinking. I don't know what you think of the world, your predictions and shit, but I don't think I have that kind of foresight. I don't think so, man. I don't think I have that kind of foresight. I have to see something, you know. I'm gonna have to see something behind. Like, what are you working on? Show me Johnny Ive's sketchbook. What does this fucking headphone look like? What do these glasses look like? No revenue, nothing. Like the money just going to salaries and data centers. God damn.
The third issue for OpenAI is the company's finances. The publication, The Information, saw internal documents from OpenAI, and the numbers don't look good.
Jesus Christ.
Setting aside the myriad of lawsuits, including a $134 billion one from Elon Musk,
OpenAI projections imply losses tripling to 14 billion in 2026. at some level, money is not real, innit? At some level, money is just not real. Losing $14 billion is fucking crazy.
There's some real financial problems. After hundreds of billions in investment, 2026 will see a $14 billion loss. That's roughly 3 times worse than early 2025 estimates. OpenAI expects their first profit of $14 billion in 2029, but that's after losing $44 billion first. By some estimates, they'll be out of money by 2027. OpenAI is committed to spending over $1 trillion in AI data center infrastructure over 8 years, and that's despite only bringing in $13 billion a year in recurring revenue. That's 1% of what they're promising to spend. OpenAI has also agreed to pay Oracle $60 billion per year, starting in 2027. And in all of this, somehow, OpenAI predicts that they'll be at $100 billion revenue by 2029.
How?
That's close.
How? You don't make anything now. How?
To what Nvidia makes. So it's possible, but unlikely. Other investors think so too. Blue Owl Capital recently pulled out of a $10 billion deal to fund an Oracle/OpenAI data center in Michigan.
Really?
It could be a sign that investors are worried about OpenAI's ability to pay them back.
Yeah.
Google, on the other hand, doesn't really have to worry about cash flow. The company made $86 billion in 9 months, and they can basically pour as much money as they want into AI. OpenAI, on the other hand, has to scream at the top of their lungs to attract more venture capital. There's yet more company behavior that indicates financial trouble. There's the floundering to spend $6.4 billion acquiring Johnny Ive's design firm, and that's to build an AI hardware device. But according to reports, the development...
They paid $6.5 billion to acquire Johnny Ive's product. I don't know, is that much? $6.4 billion. Whatever they're making is gonna be, it's gonna have to be banging. Johnny Ive's obviously, you know, like legendary designer, right? We know his CV, we know what he can do, but I don't know, man. 6.4 billion.
This is going poorly, and it could end up like the Humane's AI pin. The AI erotica version of ChatGPT is self-explanatory, and the Sora app's user base has collapsed. Despite not having much to show versus the competition, Sam needs to talk a big game to get the investment rolling in. Curing cancer, replacing your GP, and discovering new science is a massive promise, but can we trust him?
Probably not.
The final issue for OpenAI lies with Sam himself. His track record, frankly, is poor. It's almost like Altman's entire career was a series of promises that didn't pan out,
and lies,
all starting from his first company, Looped, that he founded in 2005. It was kind of like a strange GPS-based social network. Sam Altman claimed a massive user base of 50,000, but they didn't exist. In reality, they had only 500 users.
This is like a standard for all startup founders. Having worked in tech myself, right? Having worked for various startups over my life and over my career, this is like standard. This is like part of the course. I'm sure some of you guys in the stream chat who've also worked in fucking startups and shit, you know, this is part of the course. They lie so much. There's so many. Everyone's faking it till they make it. Every single person. I remember one startup I worked for in particular, right? The whole premise behind it was that they were automating like background searches for homes and stuff. I think it was it homes? Was it? I think it was something to do with homes. I forgot. It was a long time ago. It was something to do with like registering your home or getting a mortgage or something, right? They automated the system. The actual truth about it was that in the back end, we were the ones that were doing the checks. Our staff members, right? I was the one that doing the checks. But they made it seem like on the website that all you had to do was just upload it and our computer, you know, our fucking software would analyze your passport, this, that, and give you a response. When really it was us, like, you know, using different tools and services and just pick up the phone and getting things approved. But no one saw that in the back end. It's really fucking hilarious. And they ended up selling that company for a lot of money, I'm pretty sure. Under the premise that they had this, like, you know, this special tech, special software they were using to approve and validate these pieces of ID and shit. It was just hilarious, man. Anything. It's all lies. All fucking lies, man. All smokes and mirrors to fucking raise money for more salaries to continue going.
Sold off the company for millions anyway. The next example happened in 2014 with Reddit. He scraped the whole website to feed into OpenAI's products, and then he promised to give 10% of the value back to the community. But this never happened. Next, OpenAI co-founder Ilya Sutskever, who has since left OpenAI, has accused Sam of a consistent pattern of lying. According to insiders, Sam Altman lied to OpenAI board members before being fired in 2023. So with this kind of track record, is he the guy who's going to deliver trillions in value? Or is most of this just talk, pumping up new investment? I'll leave that up to you.
Big up Cold Fusion, man. Big up Cold Fusion. Big up fucking Cold Fusion. Brilliant fucking video. I'm curious to see if they stay around. I'm curious how it's going to play out. They don't make any money. The service itself isn't that great. I've noticed myself being a big kind of like ChatGPT user over the years. I've noticed I started to use it less and less. I'm mostly using fucking Grok. I'm mostly using Gemini. So it's really interesting to see how this plays out, because they seem to be the ones who are always trying to raise more money. I feel like OpenAI raises way more money for ChatGPT than what Grok does. Or big up casual.
Altman allegedly has that guy off.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. The parents think so anyway. And that interview, actually, let me play that clip. That clip with fucking what's his name? Tucker Carlson, Sam Altman's fucking legendary. Let's see if that's there, right? Tucker Carlson, Sam Altman, assassinate. Let's see if that's there. There's a little clip. There's a clip where he actually says, "What is it? Is it here? Yeah." Yeah, this is the one.
You had complaints from one programmer who said you guys were basically stealing people's stuff and not paying them, and then he wound up murdered. What was that?
Also a great tragedy. He committed suicide.
Weird question.
You think he committed suicide?
I really do.
Have you looked?
This was like a friend of mine. This was like a guy that, and not a close friend, but this was someone that worked at OpenAI for a very long time. I was really shaken by this tragedy. I spent a lot of time trying to, read everything I could, as I'm sure you and others did too, about what happened. It looks like a suicide to me.
Why does it look like a suicide?
It was a gun he had purchased. It was this is like gruesome to talk about, but I read the whole medical record. Does it not look like one to you?
No, he was definitely murdered, I think. There were signs of a struggle. The surveillance camera, the wires had been cut. He had just ordered takeout food, come back from a vacation with his friends. No indication at all that he was suicidal. No behavior. He had just spoken to a family member on the phone. And then he's found dead with blood in multiple rooms. So that's impossible. Seems really obvious he was murdered. Have you talked to the authorities about it?
I have not talked to the authorities about it.
Jeez, yeah, Sam Altman scares me, man. Sam Altman scares me way more than Peter Thiel. Sam Altman scares me way more than Peter Thiel, man. He scares me way more than Peter Thiel. Oof. Shaken. Anyway, let's continue. T-Pack K. What's happening with the Reddit? What have I missed out? What have I missed out? We watched quite a bit of the Reddit stuff already, innit, right? Bappa turns down the UFC. What's this about?
Never gonna work for ESPN. You're never gonna work for Fox. You're never gonna work for Paramount because of the things you've said. I knew that going down that road, right? I'm an entrepreneur. I work for myself. I'm my own boss. And I've worked for
I'm an entrepreneur. All right, brother. Calm down. Calm fucking down.
Corporations before, right? Like Showtime and CBS, Fox, worked for ESPN. But then I started talking freely about my experiences, what I was dealing with the UFC. I knew at that time it was going to burn that bridge, and that's the bet I got to lie in. Now we're down the road. I have no qualms with Dana.
That's not the bed you lie in, though. I'd be happy if you did lie in that bed. It's not the bed you lie in. It seems like in recent years, and I don't really know why it is. I think it's because of the money in it. But for whatever reason, I felt as if, like, even on the Reddit where everyone kind of hates Brendan, whenever he would be talking negatively about the UFC and about fighter pay and about how poorly Dana and the rest of the UFC brass would treat the fighters, everyone kind of had his back. Even people that didn't like Brendan had his back, because he was one of the first people. He was one of the first very vocal people who were out there saying the Reebok deal was fucking bullshit. I'm not getting paid well. I'm not being paid fairly. Fighters are getting treated poorly. They don't choose people like this. This person ain't getting a title shot. That person is favorable treatment. Sabotaging people's careers by giving them a fight they're gonna lose. Do you know what I mean? Like, he was actually very vocal and kind of brave in that respect. People respect him a lot for that, even though, you know, they probably still didn't like him as a person. But then suddenly, over the recent years, he's done a bit of a about face, a bit of a 180, and started to slowly but surely start to lick Dana's ass again. Making excuses about the fucking fighter pay. Oh, if that was me, I'll do the same thing. UFC makes a lot of money. They're the only organization that's still running now. So obviously Dana must be right. He must be right. He must be right. It was very strange because at the time when he was going after the UFC, right? One thing he used to say a lot when he was going after them was that he used to insinuate that I don't have to do this. Like, I'm doing well for myself, right? The Friday the Kid was doing well at that time. He was doing comedy. So it was almost as if he was saying, what I'm saying should be more valid to you because I'm not saying this because I need financially anything from the UFC. I'm good doing my own thing, which is quite noble of him to do. But now he's in a position where, you know, he's still kind of doing his own thing. Maybe he's not making as much as he was in the past. But why are you now trying to turn around and lick ass? Especially when Brendan knows Dana White better than we'll ever know Dana White. He knows Dana White is a very vindictive, a very bitter, very kind of like hard to forgive person. He doesn't forgive easily. Dana's the kind of guy where he strikes me as the kind of person where, you know, he's obviously a little bit dodge, right? He's obviously not the nicest guy sometimes. But I feel like if Dana's on your corner, or if you're in Dana's corner, he's going to hold you down forever. You're going to be his guy. He's going to sort you out. But if you're his enemy, there's no way back. So you'd think Brendan would know that. But he still tries to like suck up to the UFC, say nice things about Dana. It's not going to work, man. He's not ever going to be a friend again. Especially after what happened with the whole Brendan exposing that Dana allegedly slept with fucking Ronda Rousey and the whole, you know, Eskimo Brothers thing. That probably killed it, innit? Because he, you know, you imagine that probably caused all sorts of problems for Dana in his home, even though, you know, he slaps up his wife and shit. But yeah, I never really understood why he decided to turn around and start sucking off Dana White. Very strange, because I felt like, again, Brendan doesn't get a lot of credit for anything, right? Because, you know, he's kind of easy to hate. But a lot of people gave him a lot of credit for speaking up and speaking out against the UFC. But then for some reason he started, nope, I'm not going to do that. And I'm going to start defending them. I'm going to start defending them and trying to make Dana my friend. And it's like, brother, come on, man. You know he's never going to be your friend. He's never going to be your friend.
I appreciate it more than ever. I love the UFC. If they asked me to do anything for them, I would drop everything and do it in a heartbeat. I think those days are done because of my past, if that makes sense. So
why would you drop and do everything for the UFC if they don't do everything for you? They've done you dirt. That's the thing as well. Like, I'm happy he doesn't try, because as much as
powerful bunch.
Yo, big up.
Long ago, all MMA media would criticize Dana. But everything changed when the Saudi dropped a bag. Only Bob, a master of CTE, could stop Turki Al-Sheikh. But when MMA needed him most, he vanished.
Yeah, exactly. That's probably it. That's probably the reason. Maybe it's that bag, isn't it? Maybe it's that bag. That's probably the reason. Maybe it is that bag. Maybe it fucking is that bag. That bag changed anything. But I don't know. It's just a shame. Just a real shame. Because I did kind of enjoy his rants against UFC, because he provided a lot of insight that we wouldn't have known, because he was literally a former fighter. So he knew things that we weren't privy to. He was, you know, he was talking to people and sharing things that he probably wasn't supposed to, but he would, because he wanted to fucking, you know, go scorched earth on the UFC. I did find it funny though, how at that time him and Rogan were really close. I always find it funny how Rogan kind of like turns a blind eye to all that shit, because I just think about it in a comedy sense. Imagine if Dana White had a comedy club and he was paying comedians as bad as he pays UFC fighters, or treating them as poorly as he does. Rogan would never have it. But for some reason he turns a blind eye to the way Dana treats fighters, to the way the UFC treats fighters, to the way they don't, you know what I mean, adequately pay them, look after. Even the stuff happening with Tom Aspinall. Look at stuff happening with Tom Aspinall. Look at the stuff happening with Tom Aspinall, bro. Imagine, it's one thing for the pundits and for the media and for the ex-pros and for the former fighters, and for the people on social media to be like mocking Tom Aspinall, right, and his eye injury. But you got Dana White out here literally calling him a pussy. Acting as if he's making it up. Like, what the like, how can you work in that environment, you know? Like, your boss is telling you that you're lying about your injury. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. I never understood how Rogan could just and him and Dana are like good friends, which I understand because they've worked together for a while. But it's like, brother, like this guy treats everybody that he doesn't really like respect so bad, you know, so fucking badly, and it's just kind of wild. And imagine if you're a UFC fighter now with Zuffa boxing. Imagine how UFC fighters feel now with Zuffa boxing, bro. Dana's out here giving fucking Conor Ben 15 mil. When's the last time he paid a fighter? When's the last time you think Dana White paid a UFC fight 15 mil? When's the last time a UFC fight got 15 mil from Dana White and the UFC? Maybe Conor? I can't think of a recent one. Who ever got 15 mil from Dana White? God damn.
You know, would I like to commentate? Yeah, I love commentating. I just got two new offers to do MMA commentating. I do love commentating. It's just tough for me to agree to it, to leave my family, right? I don't like leaving Austin. But I'm definitely open to it.
I don't like leaving my family, man. I don't know, man. I love it. I really do love it. I think that's the thing that all cheaters do, though, isn't it? I think when you're like a serial cheater and you get caught, I think that's what more men do, innit? You just turn into this like weird hermit. You turn into this like super duper Superman family man, you know? That's what you turn into. You turn into the Superman family man to try and like, you know, get back into your wife's good graces, prove that you're a good dad. But it's like, brother, who are you fooling, man? Who are you fooling?
I just think that as much as I would love to work for the UFC, I just don't see them reaching out.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, true. Never.
And I also like,
Never
and I
happened.
appreciate the kind words. Like, you always seem to have a good idea on matchmaking, my knowledge, and I appreciate it. I'm not special, man.
I think this.
No, he does think he does think he's special. He does think he's special. He does think he has a lot. He does think he's very, very special.
The thing called a company man, right? And there's guys like DC, and he's a company man, where it's like he could never have a.
Oh my god! It is kind of. Yeah, I don't know. I was just kind of interesting. It's not really that interesting, really. It's never gonna happen. I think he wants to have the call, though. I think he really does want to have the call. Oh, sorry. I think he'd love nothing more than to have the UFC reach out to him and get him on to do some sort of commentary thing. I think that's what he wants. He longs to be welcomed back into the UFC bosom. He wants to have that call. He wants to do a fucking show, add some commentary. You know what I mean? He wants that badly, but it's just, I don't know. I do find it kind of weird anyway, how for a former UFC fighter, he doesn't seem to be the most well liked as well, even in the UFC. I do find that interesting yourself. Forget the comedy stuff, but it's like, brother, you had some decent fights. You had some decent wins. You were around in UFC during a decent period. Like, why are you not beloved? Like, why do you have a good reputation? Like, imagine if Brendan went to a fight and his face came up on the screen. Imagine if Brendan Schaub went to a fight and his face came up on the screen. The boos would be fucking deafening, you know? And he's not why does everyone hate you so much in the UFC? I get people would hate you in fucking, you know, in stand-up and shit and everything else. But why would they have so much hate for you in the UFC? You think about the grappling matches, you think how you used to talk in press conferences, you think that's something, you know what I mean? But it's like, it's probably for the best he's not in the UFC. I'm thinking about that. It's probably for the best. It's probably for the best he doesn't do commentary, because if his face ever came up on that screen, like, yeah, we got Brendan Schaub in the house, like, people would be, he'd be getting absolute crazy abuse. The abuse Brendan would be getting in the fucking arena would be insane. So yeah, I think it's for the best. Although I think he still wants it, you know, which I understand, because he used to fight for the UFC, but just let that go, man. Let that go, move on. Let that go and move on, brother. Let that go and move on. Sorry, yeah?
So when
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
did you first do stand-up?
Would be doing the live Fighting the Kids with me and Brian. That was just straight, you know, comedy show. But
That was a stand-up show, not a live podcast?
No, I never agreed with live podcasts. I think it's not the medium for it. It's a bad idea. I've never been to one where I've enjoyed it.
So that's the truth, isn't it? I do remember that part of the law. Big up the person in Fighting the Kids Reddit who shared that. I forgot that part of the law. Brendan was very, very anti-live podcasts, isn't it? For a long time. So it's kind of crazy to see how many live podcasts he's done since. And I think he was spot on. I think he's for the beginning, he was very spot on about, live podcasts aren't great. Like, I don't think, like, it's a hard format to get work or to make work, sorry. And most people that do it just kind of go through the motions and kind of, phone it in, like they did with Find the Kid Live. If you really want to do a good live show, you have to really produce it. You have to really think about different segments, different sort of fan interaction moments, maybe have a screen. It's a lot. You know what I mean? It's not just as easy as just sitting on a table and just doing the show in front of a live audience. That's not a fun show. It requires a lot more planning and shit. So yeah.
Dude, fellas, I know what you want to try. Golden Hour is live in Austin.
Oh yeah, we're doing it. Yeah, I got it. Driving over here, I'm like, we got to mention that right away, and then I just forget. But there you go, you did it.
That flyer too, bro. Jeez, and again, that AI flyer is always just horrendous, isn't it? That AI flyer, sorry. Nobody in the audience. I don't think there'll be a single person in the audience waving their hands out the way they are. The amount of just this horrible flyer. But again, funds are low, man. Funds are low. Cool. What's this? Should we do the chin thing? Because I think this is from the After Hours, right? Let's just watch this clip. Though we'll try and find out what this whole clip is about. But I think this is during the After Hours episode. I'm pretty sure.
Nice, Mark.
But no matter what, I'll be back.
Nice, dude. Pretty good.
Thanks, man.
I didn't immediately get the reference. And before, but then before he said I'll be back, I got it.
How about now, Nick? I'll be back.
That doesn't help.
Chin having a gun is kind of scary, isn't it? Chin owning a firearm is pretty scary. I'm not gonna lie. Second Amendment and all that, but Chin owning a firearm is kind of scary. Chin owning a firearm is kind of fucking scary. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Let me see if I can find was it the After Hour, right? The After Hour. Oh, where is it gone? It's not there anymore. Cool. The After Hour pod. Okay, so where's that episode from? Where did they get that from? Is that maybe the Patreon's gone actually? Sorry, the Patreon link is. Didn't they say the Patreon got cancelled? Was that a Patreon episode? Oh, so they're still doing the Patreon. Okay, cool. So they're still doing the Patreon. But when they said that they cancelled, they're still doing it. I guess that guy put. Okay, cool. That guy puts his one. Nick does his stuff behind the paywall there. Okay, cool. Let's check out some of this chin.
I lived with my coworkers. We were all good friends. We did computer networking, so we would set up.
Oh my god! So we'll call that just a natural cold open then, yes?
Long cold open.
I can't do this. Let's skip that. We'll come back another time. Let's skip that for now. I can't watch that whole thing. What's this? Joanna, what's this? PG's Delight. What the fuck is Joanna doing? God, is there a picture of Slojo that doesn't include her ass? Is there one picture that she's ever taken in her life where her bum is not showing? What an amazing lady.
Powerful bunch.
Yeah, big.
Chin was supposed to have his year due to the Baba effect, but he chose to stick around for the job security.
Of course.
I mean, look at Mark Harley's year. You fucked it up, Chinny. Enjoy your lonely house. That Glock looks real friendly after a few drinks alone.
Actually, that's actually an interesting topic. Actually, big up Asad Aziz. I was thinking, you know what? Weirdly enough, I was thinking about Chin when I was having a shit earlier. I was thinking about Chin when I was having a shit, and I was thinking to myself, like, has Chin made a mistake, or has he made the right decision? Moving to Austin and hitching his fucking ride to fucking Brendan and Brian. I don't think he's made a mistake, you know. I don't think he's made a mistake. Considering the fact that he probably doesn't want to work in like production, like working, like having to go working for like, I don't know, a network, right? He doesn't want to have to go work for a TV station or anything where he has to work a proper 9 to 5, working in like a soulless room somewhere with loads of other producers just banging shit out every day. He doesn't want to do that, right? He wants to do what he's doing now. He's able to do it from his home. It's chill. You can start work when he kind of wants. You can drink. You can fuck around. That's probably way more fun, right? And probably way more akin to his lifestyle. Plus, he's getting older. He probably doesn't even have the ability to do those crazy shifts and put in the hours at work, you know, Monday to Friday every day. He probably doesn't have it in him anymore. So maybe, although this job now hasn't helped his career options going forward, right? You wouldn't imagine so. Although he can show a lot of like, you know, stuff that he's shown evidence. I think maybe this is the right decision, you know. I think given who he is, given his temperament, given his age, given what we know about his personality and shit, maybe this was actually the best option available to keep doing Thick Boy, to keep being a part of the Thick Boy kind of, you know, media empire. Because he's basically got a guaranteed job. Let's be fair. Be fair to Chin. He's got a guaranteed job. Nobody's taking his job. Brendan can't produce a show by himself. Brian can't produce. I honestly don't think Brendan does use a computer. I honestly don't think Brendan knows how to use a computer. Like, I'd go that far. I think they're that, like, dependent on Chin. I don't think if Chin, God forbid Chin was not able to record the show and Nick was somewhere else and that guy was, imagine if they had a scenario where there was no producer that could produce T-Fat-K. I think they'd just skip the show and wait until they got back. I don't think Brendan O'Brien could even turn on the cameras, press record, know how to upload. They don't know anything. So that makes Chin's job very much his alone. Like, he decides when he leaves, basically. They're not ever firing him. The only way he loses his job is if T-Fat-K goes under. That's the only way. If all the ads stop suddenly and they can't pay, you know, they can't keep him making money, that's the only way Chin loses his job. I think he might have made the right decision, you know. What do you guys think in the stream chat? Am I bugging? I think Chin might have made the right choice by sticking with Brendan and Brian. He might actually made the right choice. It sounds insane to say this, but given his, you know, situation, circumstances, it might have been the best choice to make. Brendan doesn't know how to use a cordless drill. How the fuck does he use a computer? Big up Jack Donahue, exactly. I think Brendan would have had to buy him out. He would have had to use money to put into Chin Grill and be on the... Oh, what happened to the Chin Grill? True. Big up Black American. What happened to the Chin Grill? What happened to the Chin Grill? What a good pullback. I forgot that. Big up Casual. It's cringe as hell flashing the Glock like that. I remember my first gun. Flashing a gun like that in his teenage behavior. Chin's almost 50. New gun owner energy. Yep. No. Actually, Casual. I take that back. He's not a new gun owner. That's the thing. He's not a new gun owner. He's not a new. He's had guns for ages. For ages. He's had guns for ages. He's always been a bit paro about somebody coming and taking all his microphones in LA. He's always had guns. So this is not a new thing. He's always had guns. He just likes to flash them around and act hard, I guess. Brother, he works in a garage, has no friends and nothing to do in the giant house he rents. Yeah, that house. Let's just zoom in a bit. Let's press play.
Yeah. Now I'm forced to venture out, do other things. Yeah. So speaking of bad friends, I met Andrew Santino.
That drill, man. It's just the drill in the background that kind of bums me out a bit. The background of that fucking room it's just giving divorced dad, man. It's just giving divorced dad in it. It's just fucking. Why is that drill just out? Why don't you just put it back where it meant to be, like cabinet or something, like clear the tape? I don't know, brother, man. Like, Chin, man.
Woo! We had
goes woo.
No, me. I said it. I talked to Case about it. I said, yeah. How did you like him? Because I liked him a lot.
Yeah, no, he's awesome. He's the man. I kind of blew it though.
Why?
I kind of blew it.
Oh my God, well, that's not what I want to hear.
I'll tell you guys what happened, and you tell me if I blew it. Okay.
Oh, you blew it.
So first of all, it was a party for Pro Shop because they signed Paige Sporanic to be part of the business, and we're going to do a ton of production with Paige, shows, merch. You know, she'll take over the Instagram for Scratch, etc., a bunch of stuff. And so we had a big party, which started at 9 p.m. I was like, yo, I'm tired at 9 p.m. All good.
Damn, man. All Chin's friends doing all these little cool projects in LA, and Chin's out in Austin searching for fucking barnyards and things for the new studio. It's kind of sad, isn't it? Everyone's back in LA hustling, doing fun projects, working with pro fishers and Andrew Santino and shops and brands and doing Instagram takeovers. Chin's out here fucking, you know, fighting for his life.
All good.
All good.
Put on a fancy outfit. Jess got to come. She put on a fancy outfit. She was looking stunner.
I didn't mean to gloss over that, but I wanted to ask, when did you get done with work? Did you have time to nap before a 9 p.m.
Yeah,
event?
I forced a nap. So I got in early. I was there like 7. I think left at like 2 or something. Maybe even like 1. I think the vibe was like, get your shit done, like go chill, and then we have the party tonight. So went home.
Fucking hell, man. Industry parties. Industry little parties and soirees where you do your work and then tell you, come back later. Don't worry. The drinks will still be here. You can lay your head on later. Chin's just missing out on all this shit. Big up Black America, exactly. Yep, exactly. Chin should have stayed in LA. This quarter would have kept him motivated. That's the one bit that kind of bums me out for Chin. Chin, I like to laugh at him a lot, right? He brings me a lot of amusement. But one thing I feel kind of bad for Chin, the move to Austin was the worst possible timing for him socially and kind of bro-wise, relationship-wise. Because he was just about, it felt like he was just getting to know these guys. Like he formed quite a close bond with this, I forgot what this guy's name is on screen, but he formed quite a close bond with this guy. They were drinking all the time after work, doing their work, hanging out, watching football on the fucking screen at the Thick Boy studio and shit, going out for fucking Korean barbecue. I mean, they were hanging out. They had like a little crew that were like, you know, they were working on different projects and shit. And then boom, Brendan's like, yeah, I want to go Austin. I want to go Austin. It kind of fucked up his like social life a little bit. Do you know what I mean? It fucked up his because who knows what would have happened if he was staying in LA. Maybe one of these guys would have introduced him to a nice lady, maybe a nice young man, and he would have got, I mean, you never know. You never know what would have happened through those circles of going to house parties, going to little meetings, going to little picnics in the park. He could have met somebody. You never know. It could have all changed his life. And now instead he's in a fucking mezzanine floor of a garage. Fucking hell.
Tried to take a little nap, but I didn't really fall asleep. It was one of those naps where it was just a lay down, I guess you'd call it. Didn't really fall asleep, which is actually fine because when I do nap, I wake up cranky. I wake up hungry and cranky, very much like a baby in that regard.
I have so many thoughts on naps, but I want you to keep plowing through.
We'll circle back to naps.
I don't even think we have to.
Okay, great, even better.
This guy is just so like, look how majestic he is. He's just like
he's
like this though. He's like, I don't even think we have to.
Yeah, he's like kind of like a lion.
He's just so calm over there about it.
It's the cloud couch. I'm back on a cloud.
Chin's probably doing some work there, isn't it? Chin's probably doing some work.
Powerful bunch.
Yeah, big up Salaties, appreciate you.
Chin can't go fishing and get bussy from his homie at the campsite anymore. And for what? To produce a pod inside of a storage unit.
Okay, so as per usual, Aggie shit takes over here, right? Aggie bad takes over here. I might have to walk back my take. I might have to walk back my earlier take. Maybe this Chin move to fucking Austin was probably a bad move for him overall, innit? Maybe it's been because I'm thinking of it from a job security point of view, right? I'm thinking of it from a job security point of view because Chin doesn't look like the most adventurous person in the world. He looks a little bit risk adverse. Chin strikes me as a bit risk adverse. Bit up Coiler. AZ at 50 years old, there's no more could have met a nice girl. Okay, you see? But you get what I mean? Do you guys understand what I mean though? I maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, you're right. I don't know. You just like think about this scene. Think about this scene right here.
You have a gun?
Yo, big up Martinez.
Sin a bad producer. Only Bappa will pay him redact.
Yeah, also that's the other thing I've learned too. I think mostly from Coil and other people, because I think because I'm not, you know, I'm not fucking plugged in or aware of what a producer's job is day to day. I just assume because he stays so long and he's always running around and picking up equipment and plugging things in and unplugging things that he was working hard. But I think it was Coil and other people said no, he's actually doing a bad job. He's actually making this more difficult than what it needs to be, you know. He's not actually a good producer. He just does a lot of busy work and whatever else. And because he's the only one that's competent to do it, you know, they keep him around type of thing. But let's look at just this scene alone. Big up Martinez. Let's look at this scene. This scene bums me out the most. His friends having a conversation, right? His friends having a conversation about this event that they went and did with Bass Pro Shop and shit. Me and Andrew Santino and other celebrities and all this malarkey, and they're sharing a good little kind of powwow, right? They're having a good little time, like boys do, right? Sharing the little war stories of their industry, giggling and having a good time. The whole entire time, Chin is literally working. That's the face of somebody that's sending an email. That's the face of somebody that's responding to something to do with work. His friends are having a good time. That's their podcast. They get time to relax, unplug, talk about some shit, shoot the shit in the industry. And Chin is literally glued to his screen, working. Probably Brendan's emailed him some request. Maybe Brian's asking for some sort of assets or something, or the ad company's got in touch with him. Like, he's still on the clock. Brutal, innit? It's fucking brutal, man. Like, he's still on the clock. He's still on the fucking clock. He can't even relax with these boys. He can't even relax with these fucking boys on his day off. Damn.
Cloud couch. I had one of these for 2 years and it was ripped away from me.
All right. Settle down. Back to my thing. Settle the fuck down. Back to my thing. So we go to the party. Party's fun. It was great. It was rainy. Whatever. We go to the party. And everybody's there. It's a great time. They got hors d'oeuvres. They got drinks, all that stuff, all that jazz. And then who should walk in but Andrew Santino? He's been on the Vanity Index podcast. He's got his own golf show called Bad Lies. Go check that out if you haven't.
He was on...
No, but seriously, big up Teju as well. At 50, hang it up. Going back to what Teju and fucking Coiler are saying, some of you motherfuckers in the stream chat, if you get to 50 and you're still single, if you get to 50 and you don't have any fucking bambinos, are you gonna hang it up? Let me know in the stream chat. Be real. Be real in the stream chat. Be honest. Be honest. If you're a fella out there, if you're 50, are you gonna just hang it up? You're not gonna try. You're not gonna try to find someone. You're not gonna, you're not going to go line dancing or something, or try and learn salsa and meet some person, or go to your local bingo hall, or go to your local casino. You're just gonna resign yourself to just dying alone. I'm 50. It's over. Yeah, like big up exactly. They're going. Hell no, pushing it to the. Exactly. That's what I would have thought. Push it right to the end. It'll be a bummer because by that time you probably might not be able to have kids, but at least a companion, isn't it? Like, why not? Chin, there's still time for Chin. There's still fucking time for Chin. There's still fucking time for Chin. Big up Koila, I'll unalive at 40 if I'm spending 16 hours a day carrying an iMac around.
Powerful bunch.
Big up Koila, man. You're making me die.
I'm putting that Glock 17 straight to my head after I strangle a lady of the night in order to feel like God won last time.
Oh my God. I don't know how Assad diseases super chats or whatever. I don't know how these things pass TTS. I don't know how your words pass TTS, but that is a fucking crazy thing to say. I don't know how you get past the TTS mod things, but you're fucking brilliant. Honestly, I don't know how it gets through. I don't know how the shit gets through. Big up Teju. I would. Okay, cool. Big up Borunda. I'm an Asian Texas, of course. I use scissors for the kitchen instead of a knife. Oh.
You have a gun?
Big up Martinez.
I will be at a music festival rugging and fugging.
Yeah, same. Yeah. That's how you feel that void, man. Big up. Hey, that's how you feel that void. That's how you feel that void. That's how you feel the void. Big up casual. My uncle just remarried at 73. It's never too late to get a woman. Chin probably doesn't like women, I think. That's the thing though, bro. Casual. Your what's that? Your uncle remarried. That means your uncle wasn't married before and probably had people before that, Chin doesn't have a good track record. There's no many befores for Chin. There's not many befores, There's not many there's not many exes in Chin's life, I don't think.
Vanity Index before you were there, though.
Right before, so here's tune in. Here's the story. So I'm like, I see him walking by. I go, Andrew, I go, Santino, what's up, dude? I'm a big fan. I worked on Fighter and the Kid and Golden Hour. I'm, know Chris and Eric and those guys.
Oh, he didn't mention Brendan. Ooh, look at Nick's face. He didn't mention Brendan, didn't he? Look at Nick's face. You're like, you mentioned firing a kid. You mentioned Brendan. He didn't mention Brendan, did he? I know Nick. I know Chris and Eric. What about Brendan? Why did you mention Brendan? Why didn't you mention Brendan, eh? Why didn't you mention Brendan?
That's a lot of word vomit. How'd you?
Oh, it was fine. It was cool. I got it out succinctly, and he knew exactly what I was saying. Couldn't have communicated it more clearly. And he was like, "Oh, that's awesome. What are you doing? You work here now?" And I was like,
"What are you doing here?"
Yeah. He was like, "What? Yeah. What's your deal?" And I was like, "Oh, I work on Vanity Index." He was like, "I was just on that. You weren't there." And I was like, I just joined. And then he started to ask me like more stuff. Like we were about to get into a conversation, but I didn't want to like, I didn't want to take hold of him at this part. He had just gotten there. He just walked in and was walking by me, and that's why I was like, big fan, blah blah blah. And I was just like, I love what you're doing. No Bad Lights, keep it up. I just wanted to say what's up, and I'm a big fan. It's awesome to meet you. And he was like, oh, okay. And then just like kept walking. But it was like I shut down the conversation before it even started. Just in my like trying to be humble and not take his time from
being respectful.
Yeah, I was overly respectful.
I recently did that with Sam Richardson at Best Buy.
There you go.
Ran into Sam Richardson at Best Buy, and I was like,
"Yeah,
just so you know, big fan of Detroiters. That's it." I like closed that.
But that's how you do it at Best Buy. This was like a party where you can potentially network and like have a conversation. Like
I think
we both
the
have
same
a beer.
thing. I think it's the same thing.
You do?
Best Buy party.
Oh, you're being joking.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
okay.
no.
You're being joking.
I could have talked to him. We were both in line.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right.
Well,
you didn't say.
I don't think I'm going to change that, but I think that's a good thing. I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing to sometimes stop celebrity interaction short. I don't think it's a bad thing. And next time you bump into him, you're going to probably have a longer conversation. I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think you need to stand there and fucking chew someone's ear off because you're a fan. And say hi, say you're a fan, acknowledge them, and then keep it moving. And then, especially if you work in the industry, right? This guy wants to be in the industry anyway. You're going to probably bump into him another time anyway. You know what I mean? You can follow up that previous conversation again. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, I thought he was looking at fixtures.
Yeah, I
we
thought
were
he was
both in line.
long
I
cables
forgot
that
where he was
ultimately
at.
won't work. Yeah.
I forgot where he was at.
I think there's the same
Fixtures
level.
doesn't or does apply.
It doesn't really apply.
Yeah.
Okay.
I forgot where he was at.
Certainly more applicable things.
Yeah, his is way different. They sound like completely different situations. Inline changes it. I forgot that. They're a little slow.
Inline changes it a little bit, but not a ton.
Okay.
I think your biggest problem, though, because like you said, you did get him right into the party. I can see how that would be causing uncomfort for you. Like you guys are having to like slightly step out of the way as other people continue to walk in. Is that how close to the entrance you were?
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
I didn't assume that he would be down to talk to me, which is like stupid because it's like this isn't a party with like 1,000 people. It's like 30 people. Like
you need some positive affirmations before you go out. I am worthy.
Yeah.
I am a peer.
Yeah.
I
belong.
And God damn it, people like me.
You're right. Yeah.
It sounds funny, but like kinda.
Yeah. No, totally.
But I think you'll run into him again, and I think that's always going to be on the safer bet than staying too long.
Yeah, true. Got in, got out, said I'm a big fan, blah, blah, blah.
It wasn't quite be good, be gone. It was just like be there, be gone, it sounds like.
Yeah.
You didn't give yourself a chance to be good.
Yeah. I was like, anyway, just wanted to say I'm a big fan, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, okay. And walked away.
Well, he's like literally one of the biggest celebrities, like really embedded in the content golf world.
Yeah, for sure.
And so you guys are just going to be in the same circles again, and it'll be like another like
yeah, I'm sure
easier.
Yeah. I'm not worried.
Fucking hell, what's happened to Chin's hair as well? He's looking rough, innit? What happened to Chin's hair? Looking fucking rough. What's happened to the hair, man? Or maybe he just got out of the shower, innit? Probably. Knowing Chin, he probably doesn't dry his hair that well. Doesn't have a dryer, you know. Things are happening in his crib. But yeah, Chin looking kind of rough there. Chin looking kind of rough.
Worried about it.
You want me to call him?
Sure.
I didn't expect you to say yes because last time I texted him, he didn't answer. But so I'm not going to. But
Yeah, so
That'd be
that was
cool.
one- and then
that'd be really good for the show if we were on such good terms. Hey, Santino, we got Casey. What'd you think of Casey's performance?
You know,
But I don't think
you know that little guy you met the other night briefly.
See, I am big.
I'm big. I'm worthy. I belong.
Yeah.
It's funny because I'm very
confident.
I'm very
Yeah,
confident. I'm borderline cocky.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just get in some moments and I shrink.
It's a little bit like that meme where that guy's sitting in the corner and everybody's and you're like,
Yeah.
I'm these guys.
By the way, I did spend most of the party in the corner. It was fun. Maria set it up. It was a great party, Maria. It was a little loud for a little guy like me.
I'm bored now. Let's move. Big up them, though. Big up them. Big up them. Big up Chin. Hopefully he figures it out. Hopefully Chin let's get him on the screen again. Hopefully he figures it out. He doesn't look like he's, having a blast. He doesn't look like he's having a blast, but you never know. Maybe inside he's having a blast. Although his exterior looks unblasty, He looks unblasty in his exterior, but maybe he's having an absolute whale of a time over there in Austin, Texas. Maybe. One can only hope. Let's move on. Where's Watson time? New Wes Watson. This fake alpha male Wes Watson situation just got way worse. Courtesy of Bubba again. Big up Bubba. Another Wes Watson video. Let's see what Wes Watson's up to.
Last time on the Alpha Male Universe.
May start posting shit on YouTube again, but I don't like the platform. There's too many weirdos who just can say whatever they want and just be rats all day talking about other men. You guys are pathetic. Like, you guys have kids, you claim they're your life, but you hate them. I watch you, motherfucker. I can read your mind. My going out isn't yours, bro. When I go out, I get everything I want everywhere, okay? And it's very, very enjoyable. I'm not going out like in a shit bucket, like some ugly ass bitches with no money in my pocket. Dude, what are you guys even trying to do if you're not trying to pull up in a sick ass whip to a club and have badass bitches all around you? What the f are you trying to do at this point? You're just like, what are you trying to do? I mean, obviously if you have a family and all that shit, she should still go with you like once a week. Like, you
You serious? Welcome to the Alpha Male Universe. Now let's get a Bubba Army in the chat because this AMU episode is coming in hot. Now recently I made a video on Wes Watson. Yeah, that's not really crazy, right? He is on the roster to get roasted on the daily. However, this time is special because Wes Watson claims he has never watched a single YouTube video in his entire life. Yeah, that's the case with Wes Watson, what he's claiming. However, he mysteriously crashed out on his Instagram crying about a certain someone, you can only guess who, roasted the shit out of him and how we should all be kicked off social media. Yeah, it's gonna be wild, it's gonna get crazy. This AMU episode's gonna have all of the drama. So let's get this show on the road.
Okay, 2026, we need a new ruling in effect. These socially awkward weirdo fucks that run the comment sections, that make videos about other men on YouTube that they're probably attracted to because they have two moms and they're weird. I mean, the thing about these people, they need to be taken off the internet. If you have no social skills, you should not be able to be on social media, okay?
I really do wonder, to some extent, I can kind of understand Andrew Tate's appeal, right? To some men. I can kind of understand Andrew Tate's appeal. I'm rich, you're broke. If you want to be rich, listen to me. He's shouting, using all these big words, talking really fast, right? Sounding somewhat intelligent, but not really. When you really listen to him, he's not really that smart. But still, you can kind of get the appeal of why Andrew Tate would be appealing to like young men. You can kind of understand why. You can kind of get it. Like the kind of guy that wants to drive fast cars. He wants to fuck loads of like 10s or things women he perceives to be 10s. He wants to live life on his own terms, type of thing. Type of thing. I can kind of get the appeal. But when I hear this guy talk, I'm like, he doesn't seem like, he doesn't even, at least Andrew Tate, he's obviously done a lot of horrible shit. Not the greatest of guy, Andrew Tate. But he looks like he's having a good time, no? Andrew Tate generally looks like he's having a good time. He's smoking his cigars, he's hanging out with his brother, they're flying all around the world. They look like they're having a good time. This guy looks and sounds so miserable. He there's no spark. Like he just, I don't know. There's some. He's always angry. It seems like he's always scolding his fans or viewers. You know, like why would you give this guy money? Like why would you follow this person? Why are you gonna look up to them? Why is this person your hero? Why is this person your North Star? I don't get the Wes Watson thing. I really don't. He seems so like mad, angry, bitter, just furious and shit. Like just like a bully. It's like why would you want it? It's weird. It's just strange. I don't know. I don't really get him. I get why Andrew Tate is popular. I don't really get why this guy is popular.
Okay.
So apparently I have two moms. I guess I just found that out now. But anyway, Wes Watson crashes out once again over the quote-unquote haters who run his comment section, those who make the videos about him. But I guess in a way he's admitting that the haters own his cheeks because he says that they run his comments. Well, I need to also say this too, is that this guy is talking about how people who roast him shouldn't be on the internet because they don't know how to socialize. But just a couple episodes ago, we were talking about how Wes Watson was trying to instruct people to go pay money to strippers in order to socialize, to learn how to talk to women. Yeah, this guy was telling people to talk to women who bounce their fake tetas in order as a lesson for socializing with other people. Imagine like actually talking to a lady like that in a club with blasting music, with tetas in your face, and you're like, yeah man, I'm here because Wes Watson told me this would be a great lesson to learn how to talk to people. This guy's a fucking idiot, man. So let's continue on with the crash out.
If you have no social skills, you should not be able to be on social media, okay? You guys are fucking weird. Do you know how many fucking weirdos I've seen like make videos about me and like gang up on YouTube, be like, yeah, does he think he's an alpha? Oh my God. Are you guys okay? You guys know how the world works. Like, I'll fuck all the bitches and you will fuck none of them. If we're talking about like the top hierarchy of fucking bitches, it's me. And we're talking about the people who don't, it's you. And then you make up some shit like, yeah man, like, it's all about like restraining yourself for like your chick and da-da-da. Bro, you've never had a chick. You're a 40-year-old virgin, you fucking weirdo. One question, babe. How was that Chase drive-thru? That thing was narrow, huh?
I swear, we live rent-free in this guy's head. He keeps doubling down on being an alpha, so I know for sure he is watching these videos. I'll probably title it Fake Alpha Male Wes Watson, and we'll get another crash out from him claiming how he is the most alpha masculine man in the world who claps all of the cheeks even though he has a shrimp. Now, he needs to understand one thing, is that we just genuinely have fun doing this in our free time. You know, my wife and I, we get together, watch some clips, laugh our asses off, come up with some ideas, some jokes, and then we upload the video. The thing is, what is different between me and these alpha males that you see online is that whenever a video goes live or they see a hate comment, the rest of their day is ruined. They'll be crashing out, they'll be talking to some hired lady, and they'll be crying. We upload this shit and then go about our day and have fun, go explore the world, you know, go work our job and do a bunch of things. But Wes Watson and all these other alpha male grifters, they cannot stomach the fact that people just don't like them. So yeah, if I have some free time, I'm actually, you know, having vacation. I'm on vacation time with my wife. I'm gonna be like, you know what? Let's roast this guy. This is only gonna take an hour and a half, and then I'm gonna go have fun with the rest of my day. So let's continue on with the rest of the video.
This guy writes me this every day. Take substances, go to the club, talk to a screen, and repeat. Sad man.
I love how these questions trigger him. So, like, you get to pick the. You can just choose not to answer the question. You know. These are questions I sent to him via Instagram, I think, right? You know, you can just choose not to answer the question. He just like, they clearly trigger him up there. Like, it's a really good burn though, by the way. It's a really good burn, isn't it? Take substances, go to the club, talk to a screen, repeat, sad man. That's a good burn. It's so to the point. Oh.
Needs to understand that I'm sad for some reason. Am I as sad? Are we having a good time all day? We have a great...
I don't know, man. She looked like she was half asleep there. I'm not going to lie. She looked like she was half asleep. I'm not going to lie.
Sad for some reason. Am I as sad? Are we having a good...
She looked like she tried to wake up. I'm having all the fun, babe. I'm having all the fun.
time all day. We have a great time. We have a great life. Your life is sad. Like, you actually suck. Like, there is nothing you do in your life that anyone would want to do. Nobody would want to trade their life with you. And you weirdos out there,
Is this guy like really devouring gummy worms while making these videos? And he's claiming he's the most alpha male of them all? The jokes just write themselves, but takes substances, go to the club, talks to a screen, repeat, sad life, man. Who wrote that, bro? Like, show your face. You gotta tell me who wrote that because I need to talk to you for the jokes because that is genuinely hilarious. And you know that shit pissed him off so bad because that's all he does. Actually, I think he stopped going to Kiki's, this club down in Miami, because so many people were saying that shit looks boring and that shit's lame. And that actually got to him. I mean, genuinely, it does look very boring. I don't understand the allure of paying these women with like your name on a sign and then you drink like disgusting Clase Azul, which is like really like shit tier tequila, but Wes Watson doesn't know anything about class or tequila or anything like that, so he thinks that's a flex. Yeah, honestly, this comment really bothered him, and let's check out the further crash out.
Life with you, and you weirdos out there, you squares online that all team up and act like you're gonna like talk shit on some alpha like me. Yes, I'm an alpha. Yes, I'm the most alpha motherfucker that you guys have ever met. You guys are weird little squares that want to lick my nuts for some reason. All day long, you're just trying to get views off of my nutsack. The lint out of my beard is enough for you little fucking lames to live. Do you understand that? You guys are sick. Your chicks want to fuck me because you talk about me so much. Weirdos. Oh wait, you don't have chicks. Your grandma does. Or your mom.
This video has been a wild revelation for my...
Okay, well, that's Wes Watson. I'll let you watch the rest of that later. But yeah, I don't know. I'm intrigued by this individual. He intrigues me. He intrigues me because he's quite unlikable. But he seems to do well in that space where men want to ask other men questions and they want guidance and stuff, you know, that kind of like trying to talk to girls kind of world, you know. Well, I don't know what that world is, whatever that world is, right? That kind of manosphere world. He does quite well there. That's how he maintains his lifestyle, right? He obviously does well because he lives in this fancy house somewhere and rents all these cars. So he's obviously getting some income from people who are subscribing to his Telegram, subscribing to his fucking Discord, whatever thing he's selling. If he sells fucking courses, I don't know what he does. But he gets some sort of monthly reoccurring income from fans who feel like he gives them valuable insights and services and shit. From the outside in, I don't get it. I don't personally get it because number one, he doesn't seem like he has much game. I'm not going to lie. He doesn't seem like he has much much charisma. So even if you wanted to learn from him how to approach Miami girls, how to fuck these, I wouldn't go to him. He doesn't really seem like he has much game apart from I'm rich and I'm brass and stuff. It's not really much game to him anyway. And then he just doesn't seem like a nice person, you know. Not that matters in content nowadays generation or in content creation in general. Maybe the more unlikable you are, the more people want to be your friends anyway or want to be your fans. But I just think in that type of world, you kind of got to like the person as well, you know? You kind of have to feel like they could be your friend, if in a weird way, if that makes any sense. I don't know. Would anyone, like, I don't know. Would the people on the internet that like him really want to hang out with him? Like, he doesn't seem like he'd be a good hang. I don't want to lie. He doesn't seem like he'd be a fun hang. He doesn't seem like he'd be a fun hang. But, you know, big up Wes Watson. Big up Wes Watson. Big up Wes Watson. Cool. Let's move on. Let's do a little bit of what's the thing? Yeah, so I want to do this. Let's do a bit of 50 Cent. Let's do a bit of 50 Cent. Big up Chicks Move. There's a new 50 Cent. Like, you remember I told you before the other day about 50 Cent evicting Jim Jones and shit, right? I was like, oh, is he doing too much? This is another thing where I think 50 might be doing too much. 50 now has a beef. 50 has like many beefs like he's like engaged in at the same time. This other little beef he has now is with the rapper T.I. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this beef with T.I. isn't even that deep. It's just about them umming and ahhing about having a battle, doing a versus battle, right? Where you kind of compete hit record for hit record. You know about versus, right? So there was a rumor, or there was a suggestion that they were working on an agreement, on a contract to get the deal sorted so that 50 Cent and T.I. could do a versus battle, right? Like the South against the East or whatever it may be. It didn't pan out. But that was the basis of their disagreement, or the basis of their falling out. So I don't understand now, because it's fallen through. Now 50 Cent is like, according to the title, this 50 Cent is violating not only T.I. but his wife. and wages war after T.I. exposed he backed out of the versus battle. So it's turned into this whole beef. So I'm just thinking in general, like, why does 50 always have to go so extreme with the fucking back and forths when it's just, you know, you didn't agree on a contract? It's not a big deal. Why is 50 Cent going so hard? Let's watch the video.
YouTube. Chicks. Get ready. You know what to do, chicks.
I find him. You know, I like Chick Smooth. Chick Smooth is somebody I really enjoy listening to on YouTube because Chick just got an intellectual curiosity about things.
Hey, 50. We get it, brother. You do not want to do this versus T.I. Okay, brother, you made your point. God dang. Hey, man, looks like 50 Cent was not bluffing. He was not bullshitting when he told T.I., bro, keep my name out your mouth. I'm not doing verses with you. You're a rap. Because the man just went scorched earth in a complete violating manner on T.I. If you guys don't know, T.I. recently sat down with Gil and Wallow. They just did an interview after T.I. went viral for calling out 50 Cent to a versus battle.
Go and then goddamn, when I was talking to Swiss, you know, I was like, shit, man, yeah, I'd do it. But you know, really, the motherfucker that really would be the one, it ain't gonna happen. But if Gucci, Young and Gucci, that the one. And then he hit me back. He was like, shit, Tip, don't even trip. I think we gonna get Gucci to do it. I said, well, you don't need me then. But that's the one.
Hold up,
you know what I mean?
But didn't Jeezy and Gucci already?
No, they were before it happened.
Oh, okay, before it happened.
Before it happened, they were talking to me.
Okay. But I'm saying, so right now.
And then I called my man. I said who I wanted.
You want Weezy?
Nah, I said I wanted 50. That's what I said. He don't want no smoke, though.
Oh, Lord.
Wow.
I called my man. He don't want no smoke. He ducking smoke. It's cool. So now, here we trying to think about other people who would do it. You know what I'm saying? We mentioned Wayne, and Wayne wouldn't be bad. I respect Wayne. I'm a Hot Boy fan.
Damn.
Yeah.
Tip said he want 50.
I like that. Yeah, I mean, you know.
So let me ask you a question. So it's 20 songs.
Yeah.
It's 20 songs. So let me ask you a question. So is it all your songs, or can it be something that you were featured on?
I mean, I believe it could be anything that you had something to do with.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on.
But I ain't tripping. You can.
Hold on. You finished the album already?
Now, I told you guys in the last video, if you guys haven't watched it, please make sure you guys go check it out. But this is not the first or second time that T.I. has called out 50. This is actually probably the third or fourth time. I get it. You and 50 Cent will be a great versus battle for the fans. I understand it. But if the man said no once, bro, you gotta move on. There's thousands of artists that you can easily do a versus with. Now, according to T.I. in this new interview with Gil and Wallow, him and 50 Cent privately discussed doing a versus, and 50 actually agreed to it. That's right, you guys. In this new interview, T.I. is claiming that 50 Cent agreed, but later on, he backed out. Here's what he said.
So first,
okay, now this makes sense. Now this makes sense. If this is true, what T.I. is saying, that 50 did agree to the versus battle, but then backed out of it, and now T.I. is exposing that fact to the public, 50's not going to be too happy about it, right? Because it's going to make him look like he chickened out of the fight. He chickened out of the battle, you know? It's going to make you look like he chickened out of the battle last minute because he didn't think he could win. Now I get why 50's going scorched earth on fucking T.I. Now I understand it. The weird thing is, though, as big as hits as 50 has, T.I. will give him a run for his money. You know, people really underestimate T.I.'s catalog, and plus all of his antics and the way he speaks, and his children and his wife being a bit ridiculous. People don't really respect him as an artist, but I think T.I. will give 50 Cent a real run for his money when it comes to records for records, hit for hit. It's going to be a lot closer than people think.
You know, it was really about celebrating each other's catalog. Me and that nigga talk about this, bro. This shit, I ain't just called a nigga out the blue. Me and that nigga talk about this.
You talk about you with 50?
Yeah, man. We talk about this shit, man. This shit just come out of nowhere. We were moving around in LA, man, selling some TV shows and shit while we were around each other, man. You know what I mean? I said, shit, what you think about this? He was like, shit, you want to do that shit? I said, yeah. He was like, all right, cool. So shit. And I told him, I said, well, I'm gonna jump out there first, and then you just gonna jump out there and we'll line it up. And he said, all right. And when I jump out there, nigga act like he ain't know what the fuck was going on. Then that's what it was about. You know what I'm saying? Now,
okay, cool.
About, you playing.
No, I get it. Cool.
Okay, you gonna play.
No, I get
All
it.
right,
No, I get
cool.
it.
But how about fun?
So basically, 50 played him a little bit. Innit? 50 played him a little bit. Told him he could do it. He let him do the promo, jump out there and sell the stuff, and then he act like he didn't know what he was talking about. That's kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie. That's kind of funny. It's kind of fucked up, but kind of funny.
Fuck all of it. Fuck all of it. I don't even want man. Cause now I question your character. Any nigga gonna get kick that kind of shit, then you know, man. Nigga, just say you don't want to do it. All the other extra lame ass shit, man. This shit goofy.
So y'all talked about it, you saying? You went
Yeah,
out there.
years ago. Years ago we spoke about it.
I think it'd be a great battle, though. I think.
Man, that shit ain't gonna happen. That shit ain't gonna happen, man. I don't want to stand on stage with him. I had no interest in standing on stage with that nigga. I don't respect him.
Now, of course, you guys all know how this is going to make 50 look. People are going to start saying that 50 is scared to battle T.I. in the verses. And not only that, 50 is also going to be looked at as somebody who cannot keep their word. So, after seeing T.I. talking about him yet again in this new interview, 50 Cent responds in the most crash out manner ever. He posted this picture of T.I.'s wife. That's right, you guys. His wife. If you guys know T.I., the man does not play about two things. His kids and his wife. 50 said in the caption, I keep saying, keep my name out your mouth, okay? Now, I'm not going to say anything disrespectful towards T.I.'s wife.
Jesus fucking Christ. Jesus fucking Christ. 50 Cent. Oh my God. Oh my God.
This picture, but you guys can interpret this picture how you want to. I personally don't want no smoke with T.I., but clearly 50 Cent does. This is something that will make somebody really want to see you in person. There's no more words to be said. There's nothing else T.I. can say at this point. It's over. 50 Cent has officially crossed the line and taken things to a very personal manner. This is not going to be a meme off. As a matter of fact, this is now going to be a me knocking your teeth off. However, if I'm T.I., hey, Gilly and Wallow, I'm dragging you guys into this beef as well. I got smoke with you guys now. Why would you guys ask me about the 50 Cent verses in this interview? This is your fault, Wallow. Yeah, you too, Gilly. You guys all knew this man told me to stop talking about verses, and now he's officially dragged my wife into it. Nah, dog, I want smoke with y'all. I'm showing up to your crib. Hey, Wallow, that new Lambo you just got, I need that. Gilly, that crib you got with no windows in the bedroom, I need that as well. Somebody has to compensate me greatly for this. Once again, I do not condone talking about somebody's wife. This was completely out of line for 50 Cent, but as you guys know, there is no line for 50. He crosses every line. You guys get in the comments below. Do you guys think 50 Cent was out of line for this reaction back to T.I.? And how do you guys think T.I. is going to respond back to this? Like this video, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys later, man.
I get it, buddy. Now.
Fucking hell, bro. Fucking hell. And again, this is not like a beef. This isn't a beef. This is them discussing the versus battle, whether or not they're gonna do it or not. It didn't fucking get finalized. 50 maybe backed out a bit last minute, but it's not enough for this. You know what I mean? That's the thing with 50. Like, it's not enough for all of this. Jesus Christ, bro. You went there and posted a picture of T.I.'s wife not looking with the most unflattering picture ever. Like, Jesus Christ, man. I kind of love 50, but because I don't have that ability to do that. Like, I'm good at responding I'm good at responding to people's energies, you know. I can match an energy, but I can't do what 50 does. I don't think many of us can do. I think we can all match an energy, right? If somebody gives us a good energy, we can match a good energy. If somebody gives us bad energy, we can probably match it, right? If somebody comes with us with aggressive energy, we can kind of match the aggressive energy. But I think 50 is unique in his ability to always be able to take it 2 levels above what you did, you know, and not give a fuck. Like, even if there's no anger there, it's just like him taking a piss. Jesus. Yeah, that got dark very quickly. That got dark very quickly. Just post a picture of fucking Tiny, like, what? Oh yeah. Anyway, let's move on from that one. The update on that, the update is that T.I.'s son clapped back at 50. T.I.'s son clap back at 50. Let's see what he has to say.
In the last video, 50 Cent has officially crossed the line with T.I. and he's officially waging war. If we're talking about music or something music related and you somehow bring my wife into it, brother, we have nothing else to talk about. Me and you are going to be at war for the rest of your life. And I guess for somebody like 50 Cent who's beefing with over 100 people right now, what's one more person added to the list going to do? Now, if you guys missed it in the last video, T.I. did an interview with Gillian Wallow where he actually confirmed that yes, me and 50 Cent discussed doing a versus battle behind the scenes. We came up with a whole play about it, but for some reason, when I went public with the whole thing, which was all part of our plan, he backed out.
So first, like, you know, it was really about celebrating each other's count. We were really
I know T.I. is going to step about his wife, but who else in the household is going to step up and defend their mom? Is it Dumani, the singer? Is it Major? No. Are you crazy? It's King. For the last couple of years, King has been a crash out on social media, going at anybody talking about his dad, his mom, or even himself. And 50 Cent is no exception. King was very offended that 50 Cent posted that picture of his mom, and he went off on 50 Cent, completely losing his mind. King posted this RIP tombstone picture and tagged 50 Cent in the picture, telling him this where your mama at. Then he goes on this.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Instagram story and completely crashes out. Here's what he said.
Bitch ass, say something about my mama. Your mama dead as fuck. Your mama dead as fuck. Go dig her up. Go dig her up. Fuck. Post a picture of your motherfucking mama. Dead. Stop fucking playing with my mama. Nigga ain't playing like that. Going like that, nigga. How y'all bitch ass is. I'm not raised like that. I don't go. I'm not going about my mama. I'm not going, nigga. So tell your dead ass mama dig her ass up and post a picture that look better than my motherfucking mama. Fuck wrong with you? Y'all niggas better tie y'all motherfucking shoes. Y'all who the fuck y'all fucking with? You better put that music up, my nigga. Shut the fuck up. Cause all that other shit ain't gonna get it. On my mother. Your mama dead as fuck. Dig that bitch up. Not going. Not going. Now what the fuck you gonna do about that? Not going. I don't give a fuck about how dead. Not going. Posting my mama like your mama ain't dead as fuck. Go put some flowers on that bitch grave. Nigga posting my mama a motherfucking legend. Your mama a motherfucking J. Stop, man. Don't never think you can get on this motherfucking level and you can compete with us. It's a whole different, we on a whole different ball game. We got a whole different type of level of respect around here. You get on that, do that bitch ass shit, nigga. You a hoe ass. I would say that shit to your face.
Yikes. These white.
Fucking hell. King, mate. You made it like. Yo, King made it a million times worse. It was really bad anyway. King made it a million times worse. Oh my god, T.I., get your son, bro. T.I., get your son. He's made it so much worse. You know what's funny too? You know what's really sad and funny? T.I.'s son, King, this kid here, he's probably outside. There's probably more likelihood that T.I.'s son will bump into 50 than T.I. will. You know? And the beef between the dads, isn't it? The beef between the fucking men. King should let his dad just handle the business. It's not your role to kind of step in and bark. And I get that's your mom, I understand, but fucking hell, mate. And that's a sad thing. He's probably going to end up crossing paths of 50 first. He's going to handle that by himself. You know, it's like, ay. I'll say it to your face. I don't think you would, King. I'm not going to lie. I get you trying to defend your mom, you're trying to play the tough guy on the internet, but I don't think you'd say the same thing to him if he stood right in front of you. I don't think you would.
Ends are different these days. Listen, man, I think anybody watching this video would completely agree with this crash out. If there was ever any moments for King to crash out on anybody online, it's this one right here. You gotta know when you bring up somebody's wife and you talk about them in a negative manner, not only is their husband going to get at you, but you also got their son, their nephews, anybody in their family tree is going to come at you. So now we're here. Both sides have officially crossed the line. So what's next? Do we just keep going at each other on social media until somebody stops? Do we meet up in person and get it on? Or do we have a third party intervene and stop this? Is anybody going to be brave enough to step in and tell 50, bruh, you gotta chill a little bit. You kinda crossed the line there, buddy. It's damn sure not gonna be somebody in 50's camp because nobody wants to lose their source of income. Maybe Wallow? I'm not sure. After all, this did kind of pop off from his platform. You guys get in the comments below. This is all bad right now.
Yeah, it's the worst. It's the worst ever. It's the worst ever. It's the worst ever. It's the worst ever. But let's see how it plays out. Let's see how it plays out. Let's see how it fucking plays out. It doesn't look good though. Jesus Christ, mate. 50 Cent's son just did the most. 50 Cent's son just did the fucking most. I get it, you're trying to defend your mum. I understand. But god damn. Just let your dad handle it, mate. Just let your fucking dad handle it. Go dig up your dead mum, you know. Fucking hell. Alright, mate. Alright, pal. Chill out a little bit. Chill out. Alright, cool. Let's do a bit of American Redact because I haven't watched that one yet, have I? With you guys. Let's do American Redact. There's American Redact with Mark Maron. Yeah, we didn't watch this one actually. I didn't actually get through this one, did I? What a fucking idiot. I didn't do this one with you guys. There's an American Redact with Mark Maron has officially broken Joe Rogan. Let's play this one. Let's play that one. Big up American Redact. Big up Blood Clot American Redact. Always killing it with the videos. Always killing it with the videos. Let's do an American Redact one. Big up everybody tuning in, by the way. Smash a like. Smash like down below, please.
But look, we're getting off topic. Let's go back to the topic originally at hand. The reason why these comedians are doing it is because they're never bigger than the comedians they're on. Never.
1,000%.
1,000%.
And you know what it is, Joe?
And they're never good.
That you know what it is too, Joe? Is that deep down inside, they want to be that person.
100%.
And I tell you what.
Or they want to be in the position that person's in is a better way of putting it.
All right, so it looks like Mark Maron really is getting the last laugh in this 30-year-long beef he has with Joseph Rogan. Because despite retiring from podcasting over half a year ago now, Mark Maron is still somehow living in Joe Rogan's head rent-free, which you can see on Rogan's latest podcast with Donnell Rawlings, where seemingly out of nowhere, Joe has this spontaneous, copium-induced temper tantrum over his haters and Mark Maron specifically, stating that they're simply just jealous of his obscene amount of government-paid hush money that he has now, which if you didn't know by now is Joe's only defense. Like, his grotesque amount of richness is his only shield to any form of criticism nowadays. So
I don't think it's grotesque, by the way. I don't think it's grotesque. I don't think there's any. I'm not really the biggest believer in like, oh, being a billionaire is it's inherently evil. You know, if you create a service, a product that people enjoy and you make that money, you make the money, you know? I don't necessarily think being a billionaire is inherently evil in itself. I don't think accumulating that type of wealth that Rogan has makes, you know, him somewhat of a bad person. But I do find it kind of funny how people who do accumulate that amount, people who accumulate a lot of money seem to be very incapable of accepting when people have difference of opinions about what they do, or maybe don't agree with what they do, or maybe criticize what they do. And I love how the immediate defense is always, oh, you don't have the money, that's why you hate me. I'm richer than you, that's why. I mean, I just find that very interesting how we live in a society where, like, again, I think everyone should be able to make as much money as possible, and there should be no limit on what you can make or what you can earn. But I do find it interesting how the people that earn all that money are just, they can't wrap their head around the idea that people don't like them. You know, there's some people that don't like them. They just think because I got all this money, the money's sort of like a proof that I'm like well liked, that I'm like the best, you know, when really it's not, you know. It really isn't. It really isn't. I do find that funny. So Rogan doing the same sort of thing, like, oh yeah, they're just jealous that all the criticism are coming after me. Isn't criticism that's valid. It's criticism that's just rooted in the fact that you don't have as much money as I do. So I don't think it works like that, mate. I don't think it works like that.
In Joe's mind, the simple fact that he has new money now means he's immune to any criticism. Like ever since Joe Rogan made 9 figures off his podcast, he basically thinks that he's worth over $100 million in everything else that he does now. Like he really thinks that he's a $100 million comedian now, even though he's at the same level, if not lower, than someone like Brian Callen or Brendan Schaub.
Caucasian and on Caucasian beef like
But
that.
this is an
and
example.
it was entertaining.
This is an example. Mark Maron was doing really well at one point in time in his career, and now he's not. So
Right.
Mark Maron had the #1 podcast, and after a while, his podcast wasn't even in the top 200.
Right.
It dropped off. Bill Burr, his career's took off.
Right.
He's doing arenas. He's killing it. Mark's not. And Mark finds reasons to criticize other people that are doing much better than him. And he focuses on that because he thinks he should be getting more than he deserves.
But do you think that's going back to being a provocateur? He
No.
knows if he talked to
No. I think it's going back to being bitter and jealous
Right.
and thinking about other people instead of thinking about himself and why people don't want to go see him anymore. He was upset when we left the Comedy Store because we took the crowds away. And it's
Yeah.
like, hey, you were on the fucking marquee too, man.
Right.
They're not coming to see you. And the reason why they're not coming to see you is because you're not doing well. And your podcast was in the top. It was #1. And when it was at #1, by the way, this is what I always say about Mark Maron, he was great. Mark Maron was fun to hang out with when he was killing it.
Right.
Because he was happy. Because he was getting validation. Because he had the #1 podcast. We were friends. Like, I did his podcast. He did mine. We had a good time. I'd hug him when I see him. We had gone back and forth many times and having beef with each other.
Do you think people...
His problem, let me finish. His problem was when everybody else started doing really good.
Jesus Christ, Rogan. He really wanted, but he's been thinking about it for a while, innit? He's been thinking about his rant for a while, innit? Let me finish. God damn, chill.
And he started dropping off.
Right.
That's what happened.
So it's actually been a long time since Joe Rogan and Mark Maron did each other's podcasts. Like it's been nearly 15 years since they spoke with each other and addressed their beefs. So since then, Joe's truly turned sour. And to be frank, nowadays, Joe Rogan's been completely bought out. Like he's an absolute lizard now that's mostly lazy with who he has on his podcast every week. He's happily paid by the largest Republican figures in politics and would rather talk shit about a retired comedian than someone that is in the Epstein files and is actively denying it, like allegedly Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Barry Weiss, Peter Attia, RFK Jr., RFK Jr.'s wife, and so on. Like there's a huge list of people Joe should be shitting on right now, but instead he chooses Mark Maron seemingly out of nowhere.
Well, this is what I don't understand. Why can't people understand that you have a moment? Like I was talking...
Because he's a fucking narcissist and he wants the moment to always be around him. He wants it to always be about him. And when other people are doing better than him, he wants to talk shit about them.
Do
and
you
that's
think
where
being a
Bill had a
narciss-
problem.
I'm gonna say this, right? I'm gonna say this. So, if I'm here, I think there's some truth to what Rogan's saying, right? Because Rogan's known Mark Maron for years, right? They're old comedy buddies. I think there is some truth to Joe's interpretation of Mark Maron as a person, his character, you know what I mean? The way he acts. I think there's a lot of truth to what he's saying. The problem I have with what Rogan is saying is that he's also not addressing the other things that Mark Maron was saying about him and his cohort of comedians and his political views and the influence they have on comedy and all the other things he's criticizing. Like I can kind of get what he's trying to say here in general about Mark Maron, because most of us on the outside in can see that Mark Maron can be a bit of a jealous, bitter, grumpy person. I think even him, Mark Maron himself, will be the first to admit that he's very grumpy, right? Kind of a bit, a little bit black pilled in that respect. But I think he raised some genuine concerns about Rogan and his crew's outside influence in stand-up comedy. He raised some genuine fucking concerns, some genuine pushback about maybe the push for politics in podcasts, especially comedy ones and stuff, and all that malarkey. He made some really fucking good points. So it's quite insulting the way that Rogan's kind of like completely dismissing that and just focusing on the fact that, oh, this guy's just jealous. He's just jealous. He's not me. He's just doesn't have it's like, maybe there's some jealousy in there too, but it doesn't invalidate what he said as a criticism too, I don't think.
Problem with it.
You think being a narcissist in this field is a bad thing? For some reason, I think that kind of fuels you to be the person that you are, to be determined to do it and not give a fuck about what nobody think.
Well, having self-respect and having an ego where you care about what you put out, yes, that's a good thing. But making it all about you and not being able to appreciate other people's work is crazy, because other people doing well can be fuel for you to be inspired and do better yourself. And it's a positive thing.
Right.
And if these people are your friends and you love them and you care about them, you should be happy that they're killing it. And if you're not killing it anymore, you should try to figure out why. Because it's not like the door's not open. It's not like you're not getting on stage. It's not like you're not putting out specials. You should probably figure out why your podcast dropped from #1 to not even in the top 200 anymore without anything happening. You didn't get arrested. There was no scandal. There was nothing crazy. You should try to figure that out. And he doesn't do that because he's instead bitter and jealous. He's always been like that.
So right away, you can tell that Joe's perception is pretty skewed here, as his only metric of success is based upon how much money you have. I mean, sure, Joe has a bigger podcast than Mark's by every metric right now in 2026, but that's strictly because Mark has an ounce of integrity. I mean, don't be fooled here. Mark Maron's podcast would be way bigger than Joe's right now if Mark would have sold out on the level that Rogan did.
I don't think that's true. I wouldn't go down that path. I'm not gonna have Mark Maron put on some fucking have shown us he's some sort of martyr, some sort of hero. Let's not go that far. I do think there's maybe some truth to what Rogan's saying, but it also goes back to what he said. He did say, or maybe Donald Rogan said, that everyone has their moment. If everyone has their moment, maybe this is Rogan's moment. Maybe Rogan's moment was always going to come after what Maron did. Maron kind of, for some respects, laid maybe the blueprint or showed you how to kind of really scale things. And then Rogan took that baton and ran with it. And now he's got all the money in the world. So I don't really buy this idea that he's just like, untouchable, perfect comedian is Mark Maron. I just think in this particular case, maybe Rogan came after Mark Maron, had that buzz, and that was how it was meant to be. Like, what's wrong with that? Why is there always a thing of like, oh, because he's not making enough money, it means it's not good? Maybe your moment was to make all the money. Maybe that was the whole plan in the first place. Who knows?
Back then. Like Mark Maron was having politicians on way before Joe Rogan's podcast even became mainstream. And Mark Maron has always been a more successful comedian than Joe Rogan. Like he was even best friends with Joe Rogan's idol, Sam Kinison, before Joe even started comedy. And if you don't know who Sam Kinison is, he was basically the first ever comic to make shouting into the microphone actually funny. And honestly, Joe Rogan's based his entire comedy career on stage off of Kinison.
And we were driving out here today across the desert, and it occurred to us there wouldn't be world hunger if you people would live where the food is! You live in a desert! Understand that? You live in a fucking desert!
That is basically Joe Rogan, isn't it? It's kind of crazy seeing it now, the comparison. That's basically Joe Rogan. He took his whole fucking flow, word for word, bar for bar, innit? Rogan took his whole fucking flow, word for word, bar for bar. R.I.P. Sam Kinison. Crazy, isn't it?
Nothing grows out here! Nothing's gonna grow out here! You see this? Huh?
If there was a movie about a killer, he was way crazier if he wore a dress. Psycho! He dresses like his mom, stabs ladies in the shower, Silence of the Lambs, and puts the lotion in the basket.
So the fact that Mark was friends with him and is now saying Joe sucks just completely tells you why Joe's super salty here. And also, Mark certainly had a larger audience that genuinely enjoyed his comedy, which you can very obviously see in the ratings of Mark's most recent comedy special from last summer, which aired on HBO and had larger ratings than anything Joe Rogan's ever put out. So Mark's more talented than Joe in comedy in every facet. But based on the fact that Joe has more money than Mark, he feels as if he's somehow superior, as if the government-paid right-wing propaganda he's pushing equates to his comedic ability.
There's that story about Jon Stewart. And Andrew Schultz came on the podcast and told the story about Jon Stewart and Maron, where Maron confronted Jon Stewart, but Jon Stewart got some television show. He called him a fucking sellout. He yelled at him, all this different shit. Jon Stewart left the show and they hired Maron to do the same show.
Yeah.
The same show that he was calling Jon Stewart for being a sellout.
So how did you go from that to, okay, for you to have one of the biggest podcasts, at some point in your career, you had to be likable, or you think people just wanted to do the show
there
because
wasn't
it was a
very
platform?
many podcasts back then.
Right.
The thing that killed Maron's podcast, my personal opinion, no hate, is that he has this rant at the beginning of
No hate. Anyone that starts a sentence with all due respect, no hate, I don't mean to be rude. They always mean the opposite.
his podcast that's not entertaining. I don't think it's good. And the rant was long, and he would just ramble about himself, was very self-obsessed, and I just don't think it was good. And I think that was part of the problem. It's also the problem was how he interviewed people. He had a very confrontational interview style, specifically with some comedians that he felt like were below him or that he could pick on.
You would think that style would work in this day and age.
No. People don't want always to be uncomfortable. They want to like you, man. They want you to be a good person.
So this is Rogan justifying why he doesn't push back. This is Rogan justifying why he doesn't push back. This is Joe Rogan justifying why he doesn't do follow-up questions, why he doesn't grill some of his oligarch friends and some of the links to Epstein and all the other nefarious things. This is him justifying his approach. It's a conversation, man. It's a conversation, man.
People want train wrecks.
They want train wrecks for 15-second or 30-second Instagram clips. They don't want train wrecks to be their primary thing that they're listening to when they're in traffic on the way to work.
But the people that host these podcasts now, like, I think people go on these podcasts now and like this, this is going to be clickbait. We're going to go viral.
Yeah, but they're not that talented. That's why they're doing it, is because that's their only method of getting attention. If they were entertaining and interesting and fascinating, then their podcast would be about that.
You know what?
It's all in what you're trying to focus on. What I try to focus on my podcast is, who do I want to talk to? I never have someone on and go, oh, this would be great. It'll be very controversial. People will fucking hate them. It'll be crazy. They'll say wild shit. I never do that. My podcast is only about who do I want to talk to. That's why I have a lot of people on that aren't even remotely famous, because they're interesting.
Right.
I find them interesting. I find the book they wrote interesting, the documentary they made interesting. I want to know something about them.
And so I really don't believe Mark quit his podcast because it was failing like Joe Rogan says, or because he was jealous of JRE. Because when you look back and actually go listen to Mark's podcast, it becomes clear that nowadays in 2026, Mark is simply just slowing things down. Because, he's 62 years old after all. So he doesn't really feel the need to shell out for gambling corporations like Joe just to make more money. I mean, if Joe were to stop taking all the injections and enhancers that he's currently on, he might actually realize that he's nearing 60 as well.
That's actually a good point, isn't it? That's actually a good point. That's actually a really good point I never fucking thought about. Maron did say he paused his pod. He's just over it, isn't it? Like, he could have continued doing it, but he just kind of got a bit bored and probably tired of having a show and booking guests and sorting out their itinerary, their fucking ground transport, their hotel. I mean, it just gets a little bit boring after doing it for so long. You get tired. You want to maybe do some other things, open up your day to do other things, just podding. So I get it. I completely get it. Honestly, I completely fucking get it. So there's just maybe a lack of understanding. Maybe in general, actually, looking back, I think maybe that might explain why they're probably not friends anymore. Maybe Rogan in like him deep down in his psyche or whatever, he just can't get along with guys who don't like certain things, And I think Maron's one of those type of guys. He doesn't like. I don't think they share any interest in it. I don't even think Maron's even into cars that much. So I wonder if that maybe might be the big issue between them. The fact that there's no like this, like maybe, I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of. But it does make a lot of sense what he said about, Mark Maron's getting older. He just wants to like wind it down and enjoy the last bits of life, or the last part of his life that he has still available, instead of still being like pedal to the metal, grinding it out because you just want to, grind out for the sake of it. And it is a bit rich. Rogan earlier talking about Maron being a narcissist. It's like, brother, everyone is. If you're making content online, everyone is. Let's not paint everybody else out the way they are. Like, let's be real.
And after realizing that, he'd probably hang up the SM7B once and for all. So just like his routine on stage, Joe Rogan's around 6 to 7 years behind everything. I mean, I feel like if Joe were to say this back in 2019, it'd be more valid, as Mark Maron was hating on Joe for simpler things back in the day, like being an athletic jock that curated a boneheaded crowd for his shitty comedy. But nowadays, in 2026, the bitter, jealous angle that Joe Rogan's trying to push here just shows how out of touch Joseph truly is. Like, Mark's angle on Joe has completely shifted since 2019. And honestly, nowadays, what Mark has to say about Joe pretty much echoes everything that his audience hates about him now, since it seems that Joe's repeating the same talking points from Trump's admin, just like Alex Jones is right now.
So I'm saying we're in a maximum danger right now because Trump just dropped the f***ing hammer, man.
The nuke.
He just dropped the nuke.
Yeah. So where do we go from here? Because
that should be the headline. Trump just dropped a f***ing nuke on the deep state. Trump just took the gloves off. Trump just manned up. Trump just leveled up. And people don't get how huge this is. This is mega mother. Okay, that's as much.
Yeah.
This is mega mother.
Show, bro.
Well, I don't normally do this, but I mean, this is.
So once you pair that MAGA slop with Joe's belief that he's the voice of reason in comedy, it truly just makes him seem super douchey. But anyways, Joe goes on to personally criticize Maron's audio-only podcast and why he thinks it didn't do well, which is all just major cope. Like, if Maron actually wanted to go viral, he'd do a video podcast with a bunch of shill ad reads like Rogan.
I have things to do, man. I have a family, I have friends, I have loved ones, I have interests, I have hobbies, I have comedy and podcasts and the UFC and all these different things that I like to do, and I think about those things. I don't think about negative, stupid things with people that have bitter, angry minds that are concentrating on other people's success and trying to tear them down all the time. Because they're trying to tear them down all the time because they compare themselves to them and they don't like how they stack up. They don't like the fact that person's doing better. They don't like the fact that person's more successful. So they try to take things either out of context or they try to misrepresent who that person is. They try to change public perception of that person to try to drag that person down. And it's transparent. The reason why it doesn't work is because people inherently know what you're trying to do. It might get people, oh, there's beef. Oh, there's beef. Those are simple-minded people that you're always going to attract. But you're not going to change people's opinions of things.
Right.
It's a trick. It's a trap that you're playing on yourself.
Why wouldn't he address the merits or the actual things that Mark Maron was saying? Again, all this personal stuff I get. They've got a lot of history. There's a lot of things in there. But why doesn't he address all the things that Mark Maron said about his friends? About the group of people he's kind of surrounded himself around, the comedy store in general, like stand-up comedy, the state of the industry. Like, there was a lot of valid point. Like, I would actually enjoy that debate. I'd actually enjoy that conversation. I'd actually enjoy that back and forth more than this, because we get it. You guys have a long history and you might secretly have always hate each other. Cool, whatever. Can we address the actual question? Like, because I'd like to see Rogan and maybe answer and provide some commentary as to why he thinks it's okay to maybe consistently rag on people from the LGBTQ community and stuff like that in his jokes. That's what Mark, one point Maron made. It was like, yeah, enough, man. Like, you won the culture war, enough. Like, leave them people alone, type of thing. I'd love to hear Rogan's response to that. You know, I'd love to hear Rogan's response to maybe Mark Maron saying that, you know, a lot of his friends aren't funny and he promotes people that are shit and stuff. That would be quite an interesting debate. Like, come on, man. Instead of just, oh yeah, he's just jealous because I'm more rich. It's like, oh, brother, you're richer than most people. Like, relax.
It's a waste of your precious resources. You only have so much time in the day. My time I spend on things that I think are interesting or beneficial or things that excite my curiosity. And I think that is the way I like to live my life. Now, if you like to live your life constantly engaged in beefs and being filled with anxiety and stress and you want to do that, okay. But those are bitter fucking people.
So guys, if you didn't know by now, Joe Rogan is a professional idiot. And the fact that some people look to him for how to conduct themselves in their lives is extremely concerning. Because despite how much this guy wants to come across as an intellectual, he straight up just spews whatever random shit pops up in his head at that very moment in time. Like, he constantly repeats the same 5 talking points every day because it's his job. and he's forced to talk to psychotic grifters every day like Donnell Rawlings. So when this topic comes up, he's just going through the motions here. I mean, he doesn't even realize that he's talking shit about other people while saying that his podcast isn't all about the drama and revolves around people he finds interesting. That's how much of a soulless lizard Joe's become. Like, he's feeding everybody recycled slop at this point. And nowadays, honestly, every type of criticism he gets, he just piles it on to Mark Maron, who hasn't even mentioned him in nearly 2 months and is a 62-year-old retired comedian at this point. So just straight up here, Joe Rogan is completely stuck in the past. And if his comedy routine wasn't guarded by a handful of ex-Navy SEAL guys, you would definitely see him joking about trans people wearing masks and harping on people about their preferred pronouns. Like he's completely stuck in 2021, and it's pathetic. And if he were at least knowledgeable of what Maron's recent callouts of him were, he would know that this whole narrative of his belongs in the dumpster. Because, just in case you've forgotten by now, Maron's been calling out Rogan, Tony Hinchcliffe, Ari Maddie, and all of these Austin asshats for stooping way lower than anyone should be at their level.
I'm a comedian. So when I said what I said about the comics in terms of what was happening in Austin and around that sphere of comics and that audience, was just to really make a point because of their cultural momentum and their presence, that they don't get to dictate, what comedy is, because they've created this audience of what was primarily not comedy fans and created this new breed of, pseudo-radicalized comedy fans around anti-woke comedy. And there was just this thing that was happening where they were getting or assuming the last word about what comedy was. And it was fairly unnuanced and very hackneyed in terms of its repetition of 2 or 3 ideas that were primarily right-wing talking points. So
yeah. Joe's forever lost
right.
in his own
100%
echo
right.
chamber at this point. And rightfully so. I mean, the grandpa is almost 60 years old at this point. So right now, he's forever a hack. It's just based on...
I don't know. I would love to hear Joe address those points that Mark Maron just made. I would love to hear him address those points. Because he doesn't really talk about that too often. Like, about even just address, even just a conversation around, like, the damage what Brendan did. That doesn't get spoken about. You platformed Brendan, you endorsed him, you put a batter in his back, you kind of stamped him, and that created so many issues for other people. Do you know what I mean? Like, a lot, like, it definitely did create a lot of issues behind the scenes, you would imagine. Brendan getting fast tracked the way that he did, getting kind of brought into the inner circle, no one being allowed to really criticize him the way they criticize everybody else, having to have baby gloves around him because he's so sensitive and thin-skinned and shit. Like, I'm sure that didn't help things, or didn't help to relax the atmosphere. So I can only imagine. But I'd love to hear Rogan address those type of points. Like, hey, yeah, I know you try to help your friend out, but it did more damage than good. Now people don't respect, you know what I mean? Like, you anymore, and everything else in between. But maybe he doesn't care about that stuff. Maybe he doesn't care about that sort of stuff. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have to love you and leave you. I'm going to have to love you and leave you. I'm going to have to love you and leave you. I'm going to have to love you and leave you. I'm going to have to love you guys and leave you. It is 5:44 a.m. here on a Monday morning. We've got to get the week started. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been a pleasure to have your company as per usual. If you're here for the first time, you know what to do. Smash like, hit subscribe. You know what to do. Smash the like, hit subscribe. Smash the like, hit subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you guys again tomorrow. As I said before, these are non-member shows. They're going to be available for everyone to watch tomorrow, so make sure you check them out. Like the stream, I'll add the timestamps later. So enjoy. And then from Monday to Friday, we go back to member-only streams as per usual, with clips as well going out as per usual. So make sure you become a member if you want to watch those during the week. They should hopefully be... They missed out on the TFATK last Thursday, by the way. They missed out on the TFATK last Thursday. I'm not too sure what that says. I'm not too sure what that means. I'm not too sure what that means about the Fire and the Kid, but I'm pretty sure they missed an episode on Thursday. They usually got an episode on Tuesdays and Thursdays is when they film Fire and the Kid. So I'm not sure what happened. I'm not sure if Brendan was away, if Brian was ill or something, but they missed an episode. So we should have one Tuesday and Thursday to react to. And obviously I'll have my clips, but they did miss an episode. Or maybe they did it on purpose to give everyone a breather from all fucking Brian Callen's horrible Epstein takes. I don't know. But I do find that very interesting that they missed episode last Thursday. They didn't announce it either. I don't think they announced it. I don't think they said anything. They just kind of continued. Oh yeah, true. Big up Josie. Yeah, Josie. Yeah, that might be it. Probably. Okay, people. Anyway, appreciate you all. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll go back to the usual programming tomorrow and be able to smash it through, get through some of the tabs we have here. But big up, everyone. Appreciate you so much. It's been a pleasure, never a chore. Take care. Be well.